Hello and a very warm welcome to Deep End Live, ready for another year of elite para-swimming and diving action from across Great Britain as we build towards the World Championships in Manchester this summer. It's a very exciting time for the sport and I'm delighted to be here at Ponsforge International Sports Centre, ready for the Citi Para-Swimming World Series incorporating the British Para-Swimming Meet. It's a very exciting time. We're here for the next few days and like I say, I'm your host and I'm amongst some fantastic people bringing you all the action, including, should we go meet our lead commentator, Paul Noble, 5 times Paralympian. How are you, Paul? It's been an exciting day so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been really good so far. We had some good heat swims this morning, some records broken. Some people have made qualification standards for the forthcoming World Championships, and it's been exciting all round. Yeah, enjoyed it. Good first session.
Yeah, it has been. We'll get into the nitty-gritty in just a moment, but we do have the two competitions running alongside each other. If you could just run us through kind of how it lines up and how it's all working.
Well, the British Para Meet's been one that's been going for a number of years. I think I was looking back, and it actually started in Sheffield in 1993, so it's the 30th anniversary of the British Para Meet. And it runs alongside the World Para Swimming World Series now. So that's an event that's just come on since 2017. So there's different events that happen all over the world where the elite para swimmers gather and compete against each other. And this is one of them. This is leg 3 of 7.
Wow, I mean, happy anniversary to us. That's quite nice, isn't it? Nice little thing to be celebrating too. Now, we just mentioned the heats earlier on. There was loads of people here backing their favourite swimmers. It was really exciting and great atmosphere already.
Yeah, it was great, and we saw some records, as I said, some British records broken, but very close to some world records as well. So we're hoping that some of them are going to go tonight. Some quality swimmers, Paralympic champions, world record holders. We're looking forward to a good night of action in the finals.
Yeah, I mean, who are the ones to watch? Because it is going to be exciting. The bar's going to be set this evening, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Maria Carolina Gomez-Santiago from Brazil, she set a world record last week in the 50 freestyle in Italy, the Brazilian, but she's very close to a world record time tonight in the 100. We'll watch out for that. Clegg brothers are going against each other. That's a big story. James Clegg coming back into para-swimming after about 10 years, I think. Maisie Summers-Newton, Paralympic champions, back in again, and Ellie Chalice set a new British record this morning, so watch out for these swimmers.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll be catching up with them on the stream every now and again. If they've got time, I know there's lots going on this evening, but we're going to try and speak to as many athletes as we possibly can. Now, we were just mentioning the World Championships. It's being held in Manchester. We're hosting it. This will be very much at the back of their mind, especially for the British athletes here.
Yeah, definitely. It's the only opportunity that the British athletes have got to qualify for those World Championships. So they've got to perform here at this championships this weekend to make the team for Manchester. So pressure's on for the GB swimmers. Also, other countries are using it for qualification as well. So, you know, it's a big swim for those countries as well. But GB, it's vital.
Well, speaking of the World Championships, this is what you've got to look forward to. Yes, it's an event you are not going to want to miss. It's very topical, I mean, in studio, but also playing on the athletes' minds. It's going to be exciting, and we're excited to see who's going to be qualifying, aren't we? It's going to be good. Now, like I mentioned, we're going to be speaking to the athletes, but we're going to be putting them through their paces as if they're not doing that enough already. We've got a few little challenges, few little quizzes. And Paul, I wanted to test out on you first. How do you feel about that?
Well, yeah, let's go for it. Go on.
That enthusiasm is key. Now, this is how it's going to go. It's called the Here or There quiz. It's going to be questions, and the answers are either Sheffield or Manchester. You see what we're doing there?
All right. Right, okay,
Okay,
good.
you've got a 50-50% chance of getting it right, Paul. I
Right,
believe
okay.
in you.
Yeah, that's good odds. That's good odds.
Okay, right. Is the timer ready? It's ready. Right, I'm going to count us down. I'm going to ask the questions. We're going to see how many you can get right, okay?
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Which city hosts the world's oldest football club?
Sheffield.
Nice. River Sheaf runs through which city?
Sheffield.
Nice, 2 out of 2. Rolls-Royce was founded in which city?
I'm going to go Manchester.
Nice, 3 out of 3. Which city is located furthest north? That's easy.
Manchester.
Yes, 4 out of 4. Where is the shopping centre Meadow Hall located?
Oh, Sheffield.
You're out of time. Well, 5 out of 5 isn't bad, Paul.
Oh, I did that. I did better than I thought, not being a local from these parts.
Well, you seem to know your knowledge, your local knowledge. Now, I know you're going to be really busy this evening. You're going to be calling all the action alongside Paralympian and Commonwealth Games medalist James Hollis. How are you looking forward to him?
Oh, he'll be good. He was good this morning. Me and James had some good talks on the live stream. We're going to be the same again. We're going to be busy. Lots of action to look forward to. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, you were both on form this afternoon, and we cannot wait to hear from you across the finals. And if you're here with us in the venue, you got to listen to Alan March. So enjoy all the action.
Well, welcome everyone to Ponsford International Sports Centre. We are about to start day one finals of the Citi Para Swimming World Series, incorporating the British Para Swimming Meet. My name's Paul Noble. I have hot-footed it upstairs to be in the commentary position alongside again James Hollis. Welcome back, James.
Good afternoon, Paul, and welcome everybody else. It's been an exciting morning. We've had some good swims. Our list of people that have achieved selection criteria qualifying times so far is getting longer.
It is 6 at the moment, we think, for the GB team. This is, as we said in the introduction to the session, it's the one and only opportunity for these GB swimmers to qualify for that World Championship. So the pressure is on for these guys, and some have responded really well. 6 qualifiers we had so far, and I think we had 2 or 3 that were just slightly outside the time. We're hoping they're going to dip under tonight.
So, some really excellent swims, and those, as you said, Paul, those that were just off, they have that opportunity again tonight, and it's getting exciting here. I think there's going to be a few more to add to our list. And if you want to give anyone a shout out on Twitter, I am monitoring the hashtag Sheffield 2023 Twitter page, so please feel free to tweet us and I will read them out.
Yeah, James is all over it. If you want to mention, you can use that hashtag Sheffield 2023. Send us a message and we will give you a mention. James is all over Twitter.
Trying to be. Not as much as I used to be on social media, but we can get through.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are you looking forward to tonight then, James? We've got the 100 freestyle for women. First up, number of big names in this one. Of course, we should just mention the format of this event as well. The 100 freestyle will be 4 different finals. First of all, we have the national final for the GB swimmers who are not part of the World Series. So we'll have some of the youngsters competing in there, and that's always good to see, them making improvements. And then, of course, 3 World Series finals. So the 3 finals are the 30 fastest swimmers, or the 30 swimmers with the most points earned from the heats. And they will be split into 3 finals, and the winner can come from any one of those 3 finals.
Yeah, so in that first race, the highest point score from this morning is in the final of the 3 World Series heats, and in the second one is the swimmer in second place. So, and there was only about 30 points between them this morning. So it should be a really interesting series of races, and the winner could come from, as you said, anywhere.
And just a reminder that 1,000 points is going to be equivalent to a world record swim, and we had some points this morning up in the 900 range. Said just missing out on that world record was Maria Carolina Gomez Santiago from Brazil, 59.32, so just half a second out of the world, a long-standing world record actually held by Oksana Savchenko of Russia. So it'd be nice to see that one being beaten tonight. And she set a new record in the 50 freestyle in the Italian leg of the World Para Series last week. So very much on form, despite the horror stories we were hearing about the Brazilian travel this week.
It didn't sound like they had a very good stay, shall we say, in Amsterdam on their way over. But they all seem to have made it, and some really good swims this morning from that team.
So the national final will be first up. We'll bring the swimmers coming out now. And it's always good for the GB swimmers, the younger GB swimmers who have been not part of the World Para Series, but a chance for them to kind of mix with some of the big guns.
And to look up some of those athletes that they might have heard of, they might see in the record books. But also, just thinking back to me 15 years ago, and this is one of the only opportunities you got to, get your name read out as you walk in and the music going, and really feeling that this is that big, important race. So absolutely prime time for them to learn about the stresses and pressures that might come along, but also to enjoy that first big racing opportunity.
Over here, the young swimmers coming out now. Range of ages in this one. We have 13-year-old who's the youngest, and we're going to see her coming out in a short while. So Abigail Wickens in lane number 9. We've seen Fallon Cooney in lane 0. Stephanie Booth coming out now in lane 1. And that was Tyler Glynn from Stockport Metro coming out. There's Stephanie Booth. Looking in the zone.
In the zone, focused, ready.
That's what we want. Part of Kirklee's swimmer, Stephanie Booth. She swims in the S10 class. 2 S10s in this one. Well, you keep a close eye on the S10s, James. You and I both swam in the S10 class.
I thought you might have been talking about 2 S10s up here. Yeah. Obviously, a soft spot for S10s up here in the commentary booth. But it's all the classes here are going to be interesting. There's just seeing those records be pushed on from our own point of view is always something I like to see.
So Astrid Carroll go through in 7. Isabella Haynes is coming out now. Isabella Haynes in the S9 classification. Remember, S1 to S10, it's for those with a physical impairment. S1 being the most impaired and S10 being the least impaired. Fernsnedden from Royal Tunbridge Wells, Monson. She swims in the S6 classification, swimmer, short stature. There's Brooklyn Hale. I think she's the youngest in the field, born in 2010. So makes her 13 this year. She might still be 12.
I was just trying to think. It's the year before I did my first major international call.
I won't tell you. I won't tell you how long I'd been retired. It's 2010. So that is the youngster, Evie Lambert, comes out in lane number 5, and Connie Ratley is coming out in lane number 4. So again, as always, different classifications in each of the finals this evening. And those times will be compared against the world record for their particular classification. Will be converted into a points total, and the higher number of points will win this final. This is the national final in the women's 100 freestyle. Connie Ratley was the highest number of points in qualification, 664. That was a little bit ahead of Evie Lambert and Brooklyn Hale, who are both on 624.
It's a close race, and some of these swimmers were very close to making that World Series final. But in the lanes closest to us, we have some good races going on. So in lane 0 and 1, 2 to S10 swimmers who will be going head to head to see who becomes the number 1 S10 from the final. And we have in lanes 2 to 5, S9 swimmers all racing each other. So it should be a nice direct race in those lanes. On the other side of the pool, we have a nice mixture, but the way that it's seeded, there should be some really close racing.
Well, Stephanie Booth was first through on that turn there. One of those S10 swimmers you were talking about, James. It's a very close race here. This is excellent, but of course it's not necessarily the swimmer who touches the wall first that will get the higher number of points. So we will keep an eye on Fernsnedden, who's behind the group at the moment at the front of the field, but watch out for her points total. But Stephanie Booth, well, she swam an excellent heat, 1:11.29. She's going to go faster than that in the final. Big race up at the top there. All the 3 swimmers come in together. And, well, Stephanie Booth, 1:10.72. Dead heated there with Astrid Carroll, 1:10.72 into the wall. And 1:10.91 for Tyler Glynn, who finishes in 3rd place. In terms of the point, James, I think it might be Connie Ratley, is it again?
654 points, we think, for Connie Ratley. And confirmed on the scoreboard, Connie Ratley with 654, Brooklyn Hale 641, and Evie Lambert with 637 points.
So there is the result confirmed there, 654 for Connie Ratley to take that one, 1:11.82. So the highest points earner from the heats was the highest points earner in that national final. Brooklyn Hale in 2nd and Evie Lambert in 3rd position. So national final is done. Now we have the World Series final now. So again, as we said, James, the 3 finals have all got the same status. They all are able to post points, and the highest number of points from the 3 heats combined will win the World Series medals. So it's going to be very interesting to see who actually gets the highest number of points here in this first heat working forward to the final heat. So it's almost going to be like, yeah, we're going to keep an eye on it, see who's got the highest points total. And the next heat comes, you might be sitting in a middle position. The next heat comes, you bump down a place or a couple of places. There's Verena Schott leading them out for Germany. Yeah, Paralympic medalist Verena Schott in that extremely competitive S6 class, which seemed to be stacked with talent internationally. But Verena Schott, very successful German swimmer, one of their most successful over the years. Coming out in lane 8, Tully Kearney, someone we know well, Great Britain swimmer Tully Kearney. World record holder.
Had broken them a few times last year, and that 1:11.71 world record was a fantastic swim, seeing how close she can get to that today.
Right here in Sheffield, she set that one, Tully Kearney. So she knows this pool well. There's Margia, the Chinese swimmer who was so successful in the Tokyo Games. She was one of the outstanding swimmers in the S11 class. Of course, the S11 is for swimmers with no vision at all. Margia, the tall figure, will be swimming with blacked out goggles. You see them there on her forehead. That is the tapping stick that her teammate is going to use at the end of the lane. And I think China might have a little bit of a shortage of tappers in this one because they've got 4 S11 swimmers in this final alone.
It makes for a good racing.
It's Kaylee Wen, another hugely successful Chinese swimmer. And there's another one of the Chinese swimmers, not on S11 this time, but it's Yuan Jiang. Jiang had a big points total in qualification in the 900 point range, so we'll watch out for her, see if she can get close to that 1,000 points world record mark. Here's Scarlett Humphrey. Well, she has had a good morning so far, James.
An excellent morning. One of the 2 British records and personal bests that she has done this morning, seeing how close that she can now knock off a bit more time and try and get that qualifying time or near that consideration standard.
So there's the 3rd of the S11 Chinese swimmers, Li Guzi. Again, China, an abundance of talent that they have got in this classification. Li Guzi is the Paralympic champion in this event. She goes in lane number 3, 1:12.60. She's capable of going much faster. There's the 4th Chinese S11, Wang Jinyi. It's almost the Chinese national championship here. Incredible.
We were speaking a lot this morning around the skill that was required for tapping, and how comfortable some of their teammates are in taking up that responsibility in a World Series final. It's something to be applauded.
Well, final swimmer coming out, Cecilia Geronimo de Araujo, World Championship bronze medalist last year in this 100 freestyle. She's going to be tough to beat, 800 points in qualification. We'll keep an eye on the points, of course. 2 more World Para Series finals to come. The results for all of those finals will be combined, and the highest points from the 3 finals combined will take the medals. I don't know, James, where's this one going to go? Geronimo de Araujo was fastest. She had a high points total, the yellow cap of the Brazilians. Brazilian swimmer right in the centre there. She's an S8 swimmer with a physical impairment. The lowest numerical classification is Tully Kearney, who goes right up at the top of your screen in lane number 8. So we'll keep an eye on Tully's time to see what her points total is going to turn out like.
And then we have the race of the S11s, 5 of them in lane 1, 3, 5, 6 and 7. So a nice direct racing opportunity for those. And it's looking like the Brazilian in 5 has taken it ahead here. Touch first with Wang of China into second.
Yeah, Geronimo Di Ruscio, she's gone out pretty fast actually, faster than she went out in the morning's heat, so expect a good points total for her. 811 points was the total that she got. She has followed winning the battle of the S11s, probably Wang Yinji in lane number 5. It's very, very tight between 3 swimmers there in lanes 1, 2 and 3. They're all together, but it's going to be Geronimo Di Ruscio into the wall first. And she comes in 859 points for the Brazilian, 873 for Wang Jinji. That's taking her ahead. But look at that, Jiang Yuan from China, 935 points. And that is a big points total for the Chinese swimmer, Jiang Yuan. The S6 swimmer, who finished in that time of 1:12.66. She was pushed on by the 2 alongside her. We'll just keep a check on the time from Scarlett Humphrey. Oh, look at that, James. 1:11.59.
That is another massive British record and personal best for Scarlett. That's 3 from 3, Paul.
It absolutely is. Scarlett Humphrey rewriting the British record books here. 1:11.59. What a swim that was from the swimmer who's based in Northampton. The GB swimmer made her debut along with her twin sister at the World Championships last year for GB. Great swim from Scarlett Humphrey. And points, James, 935. That is going to be a tough target.
That will be up there in the end. I think we've got a couple of really high point scores coming in the next 2 races, but I'd be very surprised if 935 is not there or thereabouts come the end of this event.
So the target for the next one, we have Jiang, 935, Wang, 873, and Geronimo Di Ruscio, 859. Right. Well, it's a good start. 935 points, British record in the first final for World Series final.
Starting fast,
Yeah.
ending faster.
The results confirmed. Of course, we had to wait for the S11 swimmers to have their blacked out goggles checked. So many of them, it took a little bit of time to confirm the result. But it's done now, everyone's safely in, and that was excellent performances for that World Para Series final. China 1 and 2 at the moment, Brazil in 3. A look at Scarlett Humphrey in with these experienced internationalists, finishing 4th in that final. Great performance from her. So next final will be on its way. We have another S11 swimmer in this one, and that is Lisette Brunsma, the world record holder. So talent just keeps coming and coming.
And Lisette was 2nd this morning on points coming through to these finals, so should be there or thereabouts. If she can get near a world record, that World Series title could be heading her way.
There's Agatha Pauli, first of 2 French swimmers. One of the youngest in the field, with the exception of this young lady, Amber Haycock. What a swim she had. Another one of the S10s, Amber Haycock. She goes it in lane number 0. So we'll see what she can do. Amber Haycock with a time of 1:05.59 in the heats this morning. And there's Zhu Jieling from China. Big points total for her, 839 in the heats this morning, James. She's going to have to, the thing is, she's going to have to improve on that if she's going to get in the medals. There's Lisette Brunsma, another one of the S11 swimmers, world record breaker in the past. She's a current world record holder in this event. She set that back in Dublin at the European Championships in 2018 when she had a sensational championships then.
It just shows the depth so far that we're 2 races in and it's already requiring almost 900 points just to get on their podium.
This is Anna Cole, the Estonian. She's medalled at the big championships as well. There's Elodie Laurandi. It's great to see her back in the pool again. Well, she finished after the Rio Games. She had a big farewell from swimming. She went to para rowing, but she's decided after having a baby a couple of years ago, 22 months ago, she said. She is back in the water. Great to see Laurent, the Paralympic champion, back in London in 2012. And there's Tony Shaw. Well, how close was she to the qualifying this morning, James? GB swimmer, world champion in 400 freestyle. Can she do it tonight?
Absolutely. She's definitely got the talent. She's done the work for it, and I'm expecting a flying swim tonight.
Well, to keep everything crossed for Tony Shaw, hopefully she makes those qualifying standards for the GB team. There was Meng Zhang from China. China well represented in this final as well. And there's Lisa Kruger. You were talking to her earlier, James.
So aiming for a couple of seconds more than she did in the heats this morning. So expect something nice and fast out and get racing. There's a lot of S10s in this race, so it should be some really nice racing opportunities that we've been looking for in the last few races.
Lisa Kruger, Paralympic Games bronze medalist for the Netherlands in this event. Pernilla Lindberg, world champion back in Mexico in 2017. She goes for Sweden. She's an S14 swimmer. She's the only S14 in this one. Lisette Bruinsma is the only S11 swimmer, and the rest are a mixture of 9s and 10s.
So Paul, where do you think the highest points totals are coming from in this one?
Well, Lisette Bruinsma was very, very good. 957 points in qualification. Just a second or so outside her own world record. So if she can repeat that, she's got to be the favourite for this one. But Bruinsma going in at lane number 1. So she's right down close to us here, right at the bottom of your screen. You can just about make her out there on the edge of the picture.
So those centre lanes going out quite fast, but Bruinsma seems to be going out pretty strong as well in the lanes closest to the bottom of your screen. As you can see, the tappers in lane 1 preparing to make the most out of that turn. Lisa's gone out faster this morning, so really chasing that 101.
Yeah, Tony Shaw's gone out pretty well as well. 31.1 for Tony Shaw. The time she has to make that GB qualification standard is 104.69, and we know that Tony Shaw, the 400 freestyle champion, is going to be strong at the closing stages of that one, but it is going to be Lisa Kruger, I think, who's going home. She's taking Pernilla Lindberg with a yellow cap with her. Lisa Kruger into the wall in 101, is it? 833 points. Tony Shaw, 104.51. She's done it inside the qualifying standard for Tony Shaw. Only just, but they all count. You can breathe again, James.
I forgot to breathe then for a moment. Great swim for Tony to get underneath that qualifying standard. We can add her to our list. Lisa Kruger from the Netherlands saying she wanted a 101, a swimmer 101. And Lisette Bruinsma, 929 points. 903 from Tony Shaw is going to put her up there or thereabouts towards the end of the event as well.
Yeah, great swim from Tony Shaw. She really had to dig in the closing stages. Lisa Kruger did exactly what she hoped she was going to do, hit the 101 mark, although it's high 101 rather than mid, but I'm sure she'll be pleased with that one. 903 for Tony Shaw. And Lisette Bruinsma, 929. 107.50 for Lisette Bruinsma. Slightly slower than she went in the morning, but it's consistent stuff from the Dutch swimmer, and she tops the rankings at the moment. So I think all three are in the 900 range now, the medalists as they stand. Bruinsma, that'll be her in second place, I think, with Tony Shaw in third. But delighted for Tony Shaw. You were saying earlier, James, that this is the only event that she's doing at these championships, Tony Shaw. Yeah,
I believe so. I believe she's come here just to get that on that list as we're talking about, get that qualification standard, get back up to training and prepare as well as she possibly can for Manchester in the summer.
So what's the target for the heat, the last final to come, James?
I was... I'm lost for words still. Poppy Maskell has really impressed me today. And I think Gomez Santiago, as our highest point scorer going into this event, is probably my favourite for taking this final. Whether she'll take the whole of the Women's MC 100 Freestyle World Series finals, I'm not sure.
She's got 935 points as the target, I think, from that first heat. And, well,
935 for Zhang from China, 929 from Brunsma from Netherlands, and 903 from Tony Shaw, GB.
Well, it's final coming out, and it's Faye Rogers coming out. A big international meet for her. We saw Georgia Sheffield and Yi Chen from China coming out first. Faye Rogers, a relative newcomer to the GB team, and she's got an outside chance of this 100 freestyle qualifying standard. She's been classified S10. And I was speaking to her yesterday on the train. She said, watch out for the 100 butterfly. That's her target. So anything on top of that, she gets close to times. I think she did a personal best in the heats this morning. So great to see that.
And just another second down to get near that qualifying criteria. If it's 100 butterfly she's aiming at, I'm all for that. 100 freestyles a warm up for the 100 butterfly.
Yeah. So we saw Bianca Pat, Emmeline Pierre, a lot of smiles from the swimmers coming out here. Ana Soares de Oliveira, the S14 Brazilian swimmer. Jessica Jane Applegate coming out, looking serious. Jessica Jane Applegate. Ken, it's not a World Championship event for the S14, the 100 freestyle, but they do have a 4x100 freestyle relay.
And GB being the reigning Paralympic and World Champions, it's a race that they want to be in that relay for. So the fastest two men's S14 and the fastest two women's S14 will go forward to that relay.
Mixed relay, of course, at the World Championships this year. All the relays are mixed. Ayano Sudutsi from Japan, we saw her in 3, and this young lady, Poppy Masco. Well, she had a great heat swim just over the 1 minute mark, and she was the emerging athlete of the year at the British Swimming Awards at the tail end last year. And she is one to watch for the future. But this one, visually impaired, Maria Gomez Santiago, or Carol, as the Brazilians call her. Great form. At world record in 50 freestyle at the Italian World Para Series last week. Is she going to go 2 world records in 2 weeks? Well, she's Paralympic gold medalist. A trio of World Championship gold medals. Visually impaired swimmer, of course. She's in the S12. So she's swimming with partial vision. We saw the S11 swimmers before in the previous heats. We've got an S12 swimmer now and an S13. So Gomez Santiago and Sudutsi in 3 and 4. They've got various degrees of partial vision. The S12 swimmers have less vision than the S13s. But, well, it's going to be very close to that long-standing world record to even get on the medal podium for Gomez Santiago, because the target, 935 points to take the top spot in this World Para Series.
So we've got a good race over at the far side of the pool with the 3 S10s. And the S14s of Poppy and Jess, they will be chasing each other down and trying to get themselves in that prime spot for the relay, the mixed relay come Manchester.
Yeah, Gomez Santiago went out well there. She's first to that turn. We saw she gets a tapper as well, the S12 swimmer. She's going in line 4, and she is absolutely forging ahead now. In second place is Poppy Masco. Jessica Jane Applegate just for the edge over Poppy Masco. The 2 Great Britain S14s going head to head here. But it is going to be Gomez Carolina now. World record stands at 58.41. And it is just outside that in 59.84. Just again, very close to the time that she did in the qualification heats. 957 points though. And the winner of the freestyle challenge for the Great Britain S14s is Poppy Masco. 1 minute point 17 against Jessica Jane Applegate in 1 minute point 28. Sudutsi had a good swim, 830 points, but we think that's going to be good enough for top spot. James, 857 points.
I absolutely believe that is top spot. That is our women's MC 100 metres champion.
So as the swimmers exit the water, we'll wait for confirmation of the official results. There we have it. Gomez Santiago, 957 points, taking it ahead of Poppy Maskell and Iona Sajutsi, 830 points. And we can now go to the studio again, and we will go to speak to Ashley.
Thanks for that, Paul. Yes, I'm joined by a very happy Tony Shaw. Congratulations, you've just achieved the time, which is inside the qualifying standard for the World Championships. You must be really pleased with that.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I wasn't sure what to expect coming into this meet. I've sadly not been able to do full training, so it's the only race I'm doing. So to get the qualifying time by like 0.1 of a second, I'm just so relieved.
I mean, that's what you came here to do, and you've achieved it. You were very close this morning, weren't you? How were you feeling ahead of that one?
I was really nervous, like 0.2 off of it this morning. Like, it's such a small amount, so yeah, I was quite nervous.
So you can now relax, put your feet up, watch the rest of the action. What's the plan?
Just support everybody else. Like, I came here wanting to see everybody. Yeah, we're here to compete, but it's so nice being with your teammates.
Now, of course, we know you won gold in the 400 free in the World Championships last year. You know, what are the goals going forward?
I think the 400 free has always been my favourite event, so just hopefully get back into full training and then work towards that event again.
Wow, well done. Thank you so much for talking to us. Now let's get back to the action.
Thank you.
Really well done. Thank you.
Oh, great to see Tony Shaw just dip under that time, wasn't it, Jane?
And she looked really happy with that as well.
She did.
So, being able to come here, do a job, and get back to training and get back focused for what is going to be a really hectic year and a half.
Yeah, she can put that qualification standard behind her now. She's on that list. Of course, it's not guaranteed, but you know, to come here, she's not been at full fitness. She, you know, she's been out of the water. She's not been in full training, but to come here and do that time, that was important for her, wasn't it?
Absolutely, because you don't want to be in that situation where you don't know leaving the meet what's going to happen. Are you going to be selected? Are you not? So to come here and to put yourself into that position where you've done everything that you can do to qualify, and now your job is done. She'll be very happy with that, and a little bit relieved, I'd imagine, as well.
And it was great. She showed great strength, though, didn't she? Because in the morning, she just missed it by a couple of tenths. To come back again at night, and of course, you miss it by a couple of tenths, and the pressure just ramps up that little bit more because you've only got one chance instead of two now. But she's been one of the top competitors, one of the toughest swimmers that we've seen on the GB team in recent years, I would say.
And knowing Tony quite well, she's so unassuming and sometimes quite quiet. So it's just a testament to her character that she's able to go and, you know, win these medals, but then also when it gets tough, just keep grinding it out and coming back and putting everything on the line and coming away with what she deserves.
Yeah, great start of GB teams in recent years, and I'm sure she'll go on to greater things in the years to come, building towards Paris, of course. You wouldn't put it past Tony Shaw to go on beyond that. She's still young.
Absolutely. I reckon there's maybe a few cycles left.
She's not going to quit and then come back again like some.
From what I've seen today, that seems like the way to go.
It is, yes. We've talked about a few of them. Some of the fans in there. We're just waiting for the next final to kick us off. Anybody getting in touch with us, James?
We've had a couple of tweets in.
Oh, good.
But remember to use that hashtag Sheffield 2023 to give us your thoughts and show us who you're supporting for tonight's session.
Here we go, I think we're on again. It's the men's 100 freestyle now, which is the next event through a national final again. We see, again, some of these young swimmers taking the stage. Akash Das from Oswald Street Otters in the final here in lane number 9. 15-year-old, one of the youngest in this field. There's Kai Gilthorpe. sure he was talking to us when we were down in the studio earlier. He was asking if he might be interviewed with... I told him, well, you might get an interview, but you're going to have to win your final. So hopefully that's motivated him.
Absolutely, and that's the best thing about having this British Para Swim meet alongside the World Series, is that motivation is coming from everywhere, going out there and doing your best and seeing how good a performance you can put together on the day.
We saw Matthew Scott, Ryan Potter through as well, Bruce D, swimmer from Northampton. What a great day that Northampton are having so far. Well, that British record, 2 British records, or 3 British records even, if we count the 2 in the 100 for Scarlett Humphrey. And there's Jamie Curtis coming out, the S8 swimmer from City of Bristol. Owen Garside's one of the S14s in this one, from Kingston upon Hull. He goes in lane number 6. Owen Say will be out now in lane number 3, the Nova Centurion swimmer. He swims in the S8 classification. So the Nova swimmer will go in lane number 3. Remember, as we look at the pool, lane 0 is at the bottom, lane 9 at the top. And those yellow marked lanes in the pool are lanes 4 and 5. And in one of those lanes, Joseph Greaves, the second of the S4, in fact the third of the S14 swimmers. Ryan Potter also in S14. And the final swimmer to appear will be Rio Rogers, I think, from Basildon Phoenix. In that familiar orange cap from the Basildon team. But I'm not sure if we do have lane 1. So I'm not sure if Ryan Potter is taking the start. So it's just the 4 S14s in this one. Rio Rogers, Joseph Greaves, Owen Garsides and Matthew Scott. So again, all to play for. As we said, James, before, it's a chance to appear on the big stage for some of these national swimmers.
And give them that first taste of what the World Series is all about. They'll be looking at the next few heats after this and trying to compare themselves.
So no one in 1. But we have the other swimmers in the other lanes. Highest points totals from this morning. Rio Rogers, 703 points. That's pretty decent total, isn't it, for a national final? 703 points.
And we were talking about how close some of these athletes were to making the World Series finals as well. So 700 points is a very big point score. And the centre lane, so the straight S14 race is where it's probably going to be the highest points from in this. And it looks to me as the centre lane of Rio Rogers is going out first. Oh, it's Joseph Greaves, very close, 0.2 ahead of Rio Rogers.
Yeah, very close indeed there at that turn. The 3 S14s, 1, 2 and 3, they touched within 0.4 a second of each other. It is really stroke for stroke here between 4 and 5, Rio Rogers and Joseph Greaves, absolutely together here. What a contest we've got here as they come into the closing stages now. It looks like Rio Rogers with that orange cap. Is he just going to edge that one? It's the long arms of Greaves maybe. Into the wall first. It is Joseph Greaves. 57.43 against Rio Rogers, 57.62. 721 points. The points have gone up again, James.
What an excellent swim. And at one point, I thought they might be doing synchro swimming. It was an excellent race. It was very close at the end, and you saw how determined both those athletes were to try and get to the wall first.
It was the long reach there of Joseph Greaves, who just took that one in the closing stages. Great swim from Joseph Greaves. Rio Rogers just behind by 0.19 of a second, and that was excellent. Owen Say had a good swim as well, 105.05 for Owen Say. That's improved by about half a second from what he did in the heats this morning. 697 points, so Joseph Greaves takes the national final. Now again, James, on to the international finals, 3 finals. What is the standard going to be in this one? We saw, well, every medalist you had to. What was the third place? It was like in the 920s or something for the women's race.
It was
I'm testing you now.
929, I believe, for
929.
third place.
Goodness. There's a confirmation of the result. Joseph Greaves taking that one in 721 points. Great swim from Joseph Greaves of Nova Centurion.
So where do you think the winner's coming from in the men's MC 100 freestyle?
Well, I don't know. Stephen Clegg was good in the heats this morning. He finished second, but the newcomer that we don't know a lot about, William Ellard, he did well. Laurent Chardard from France was very good in his heat as well. Let's see. Could be close. Is anybody else going to just step up, increase their time, or drop their time, I should say, from the heats this morning? There's Taka Suzuki, the great Japanese champion, won a gold medal in his home games in Tokyo in 2021. He swims in the S4 classification. We saw Alan Kleber Basilo as well, the Brazilian, go through. He's in lane 9. There's Daniel Xavier Mendes, the second of the 3 Brazilians. And there's Taliesin Glock. Taliesin Glock, winner of the 400 freestyle in Tokyo. These Brazilians, both the most recent Brazilians are S6 class, as is this man, Laurent Chardard. Oh, we spoke about him in the heats, James. Absolutely excellent performances he had in the World Championships last year, taking a joint silver in this event. He shared the silver medal position. Wei Sung To from Singapore, Commonwealth Games medalist, both in the Gold Coast in 2018 and in Birmingham in 2022. He goes in lane number 2. Chia Zhou will be next one out in lane number 8. Sorry, he's an S8, he's in lane number 6.
There's two nice close races coming up here. We have the 2 Chinese S8 athletes next to each other, and the French and the Brazilian S6 athletes next to each other as well. So some nice racing and very close this morning in their times as well. So should be very close.
It's Matthew Torres, medalist in Madeira last year for the US team. He also swims in the S8 class. And there is Zhu Haizhou. Will be one of the favourites, I think, for this one. Zhu from China will be next to Marco Meneses. Well supported by the Portuguese team, who are alongside us here in the stands. He's a swimmer in the S11 class. Won a medal in the World Championships last year in 100 backstroke in his home country. Those events are held in Madeira, of course. So the S11 swimmer goes in that centre lane. As you say, James, some good matchups here in terms of classification.
There's some very close racing this morning as well within the time. So the matchups are exciting and fast today.
Meneses will be in heat lane number 4. Oh, it's a bit of a problem with the start. Meneses there, that tall figure in the centre of the screen. So the yellow marked lanes, remember, are lanes 4 and 5. The bottom one being lane 4, the top one being lane 5. Marco Meneses with that white cap there in lane number 4. Zhu Haizhou next to him in lane number 5. I mean, he has been such a good performer over the years. Zhu Haizhou, Paralympic medalist both in Tokyo and in Rio. And he was a top performer at the Mexico World Championships, James. 6 gold medals he won at those Mexico Games in World Championships in 2017. So he will be strong. Big, strong Chinese team here. And we've seen it already, featuring in a number of the World Series finals. So Guaijo, Zhu, one lane up from him in lane 6. Matthew Torres in lane 3. They're all in the S8 class. Meneses off to a good start. The S11 swimmer with the visual impairment.
Some close racing at the bottom of your screen as well. In the top of your screen as well, with the S6s of France and Brazil. Chadard and Mendes racing there. It looks like Laurent Chadard is slightly ahead at this moment in time. Marco Mendes turning first in 28.92. Fast start from him in lane number 4.
Yeah, very good start there. He went out to 29.1 in the heats this morning. He's gone out 28.9, so he's given himself a good chance here of a decent time. He's been followed by Matthew Torres from the USA. And can Torres post a big points total here? But watch out for Chadard as well, right at the top of your picture here. But here comes Meneses, and he takes the touch, and 802 points. Torres 831. How long is that one going to last? Because Chadard in for 934 for the Frenchman. And that is an excellent time for Laurent Chadard in 105.10. Excellent swim there from the Frenchman. French, a couple of good performances here. And 934, that's going to be a tough one, isn't it?
That's a very strong swim in the first of the 3 World Series finals. He's definitely put himself in a position there where there is some reward up for grabs.
Well, we spoke about Laurent Chadard this morning. There's Marco Meneses. He was at the front of the field. Good swim from him, 1:43 to take that one for the Portuguese swimmer. He'll have his blacked-out goggles checked, and that's almost a second improvement from the heat swim for Marco Meneses, so that was excellent. Taka Suzuki and Taliesin Glock also in the 800 points range, but 934 for Laurent Chadard from France. We spoke about him and the accident they had when he lost his arm and leg in that shark attack. And you know, absolutely crazy. He just came back. He's competed in the Paralympic Games, didn't win a medal, really bounced back for the World Championships to take an excellent World Championship performance from him. And he's building towards Paris, and he is going to be a real star, I think, for the French.
Yeah, absolutely. And you saw how strong he looked in that race. We're 18 months out from that Paris Games, and he's swimming very, very well. So eyes on him in 18 months' time.
So how are we lying then? Chadard?
Chadard 934 with that amazing swim. Glock at 866 and Torres at 831.
Okay. Right, that's the target for this next final. There's James Clegg. Great to see him back, isn't it?
Amazing, and another one of those athletes has had a long time out of the water and come back in, and hopefully he's going to have some real success with it. Slightly longer than most of the other athletes, so I have to say.
2013 World Championships, I think, was his last event that they competed for the Great Britain team. So here we are, 10 years later.
Amazing to see him back as well. One of the first people I raced against when I started on the team as well. So with him and his brother, consistent parts of the GB team for the last 15 years.
Yeah. There's James in the background there. We saw Nathan McManus come through, the S14 swimmer from Plymouth. We saw Hua Dongdong, the S11 from China. And he goes in lane 8. There's Roger Dorsman, the S11 from the Netherlands. A European record holder, only half a second outside the world record. That European record stands. He set that at the World Championships last year. Kevin Sicki, the S14 from Japan, goes in lane number 7. Another S14 from Great Britain will be George Kilman-Johns. He comes out now in lane number 2. big S14 presence in these finals, isn't there, Jane?
Lots of higher classes in this final, and less than about 2 seconds between every swimmer across the pool here. So should be a really close, tight race. And the winner, I can't see where it's coming from, Paul.
Well, Dorsman, the European record holder, he's the world record holder in the individual medley as well, which we will see a little bit later on. Wonder if what he's going to do in this 100 freestyle. Might be the favourite. There's Nieto coming through, the Argentinian. We saw Yavianda from Indonesia in lane 6. There's Bas Takken, second of the Netherlands swimmers, vociferously supported by his teammates, you could say.
There are some real nice team celebrations and cheering on here. It's a nice atmosphere for athletes to walk out to.
And there's Tom Hamer. Again, a very experienced campaigner. There's Tom Hamer. He almost kind of burst onto the scene in, was it 2014 Commonwealth Games, where he won a medal as a very young lad in the Commonwealth Games, and went on to win Commonwealth Games gold in the Gold Coast and medalled in the Rio Paralympics. And well, he suffered from injury the last couple of years. He had trouble in Tokyo, and it's good to see him back, and he's going to have to post a good time here in this second World Para Series final. So, number of S14s and S10s. Hamer in 4, Takken in 5, Nieto in 3. Should be a very close race, as you say, James.
And Tom tends to go out slightly slower than some of his counterparts. He was he's a 200 specialist, so he'll be strong down that second 50. Same with Bas, likes the longer distances, so we expect them to be really strong towards the end of the race. It looks like lane 2 has gone out for 26.6. That's a fast swim from first 50 from George Kelman-Johns.
Yes, very fast 50 there for George Kelman-Johns. Great Britain swimmer, 26.64. And is he going to hold on? Looks like the centre lane's coming back now. Bas Takken, as you said, very strong in the closing stages. Tom Hamer coming through as well. Kelman-Johns just about being caught by the 2 in the middle. And also going well from Japan, Kevin Seki, the 4 all in together. Nieto finished well too. And it was very close at the finish. Who is going to take that one? I think it was Hamer who got the touch, but it's Dorsman, I think, will have the highest points total. 877 points for Roger Dorsman, the Netherlands swimmer. 58.65 this time for Roger. Wow, it was a tight race in the middle there, wasn't it?
Very tight. And James Clegg improving from this morning as well, so moving it on little bit by little bit, and it's really good for when you come back after that amount of time off.
Yeah, and James is he's actually in second place in that final, isn't he? 776 points, if my calculations are right. 877 for Dorsman. James Clegg, another one of the visually impaired swimmers. Dorsman, the S11 class. Clegg, the S12. That's 776 points. 57.33 for James Clegg. So another 0.3 of a second improvement.
And that moving it on from heats to final is something that, if you've had that long a period out the water and missed that much training, racing from heats to finals is actually a really challenging thing to be able to do. So for him to come in and back up his swim this morning and go that little bit faster is really impressive.
Yeah, I think he'll be quite pleased with that, I think, James. I haven't spoken to him. I must catch up with him this weekend. It's the first time I've seen him for a long, long time. So it'll be good to catch up with him again. As the next final is on its way out, and this is going to be fast, isn't it?
This is going to be extremely fast. There were some swimmers in here that did well this morning, but we know that they can move it on by a second, or if not a little bit more. We have Stephen Clegg, James's brother, getting on fire. He's very near his best time. this morning. And as we said, William Ellard, that we haven't seen that much before, but it surprised us a little bit this morning.
Yeah, we saw Dylan Broom, the Welsh Commonwealth Games swimmer, come out to lane 9. There's Medina Cortinos for Argentina. 2 S14 swimmers in the outside lanes. Florent Marais. A decent swim this morning, another one of the French swimmers. Forcing his way into these finals, Paralympic medalist last year in 2021. Marais is someone, I think you competed against Marais at some point, didn't you? S10?
I don't think we ever quite overlapped.
Well, there's Felipe Rodriguez. Well, you must have competed against Felipe.
I did race against Felipe.
There you go.
I came off second best quite a few times, but I like to say that he never had me on the 100 metres butterfly. Felipe stuck for 46 hours in Amsterdam airport yesterday.
Oof. Well, he's made this World Series final. Felipe Rodriguez, great multi-Paralympic medalist for the Brazilian team. Thomas van Vanrooy was a medalist in Tokyo last year. There's Louis Lawler, Great Britain swimmer from City of Glasgow. He's been making great improvements in the last year or so in his freestyle events. I wonder if he's going to be in the top 2 of Great Britain swimmers in the S14 class. There's Stephen Clegg. Well, World Championship medalist last year, gold medalist, also a medalist in the Paralympic Games. Just saw Stephen Clegg's brother swim in the previous heat. But Stephen Clegg already made the qualification standard this morning in this event. Jordan Catchpole goes through. Paralympic gold medalist in the relay for Great Britain. He would love to be in that relay team again for these World Championships. Gabriel Bandera. Oh, what can you say about Gabriel Bandera? Get another one burst onto the scene just before the Paralympic Games. And Gabriel Bandera will be one of the favourites for this one. And there's William Ellard. Swimmer we don't know much about, James, an S14 swimmer, but he impressed us in the qualification heat.
And what a time to come in and make your mark on the events. With that proximity now to the Paris Games, he's coming in and really stamping his foot down and taking hold of what he can.
Well, he's got some big stars around him, the 2 Brazilians. And there's Felipe Rodriguez. Bronze medalist at the Paralympic Games in the 50 freestyle. He favours the 50 these days, but he's also won Paralympic medals in the 100 as well. Gabriel Bandera. Again, a multi-medalist at the Paralympic Games. Took gold in the butterfly at the Paralympic Games, the Brazilian. He goes in lane 5. What can Stephen Clegg do? Already under that qualification standard. Can he get under his own British record of 53.43?
They've gone out quickly, and everyone there or thereabouts at the moment. I know there's a few cross-classification rivalries in this one, with Stephen Clegg and Felipe Rodriguez wanting to beat each other. It looks like William Ellard has gone out in 24.49. That is extremely fast down the first length pool.
Wow, amazing. First length for William Ellard. We know that Bandera is very strong in the closing stages of a race, and he's pulling up now in lane number 5. Clegg 1 lane up, is maybe in 3rd spot. Catchpole going well in lane number 3, but it's Ellard, I think, against Bandera. Ellard and Bandera coming into the wall now. It's going to be very close. Ellard holding on. Bandera into the wall. They stretch, and it is William Ellard will take it. 974 points. Gabriel Bandera in 2nd place with 965. Stephen Clegg 53.90, similar to what he did in the heats this morning. 934 points. It was the middle lanes that had the highest points totals, I think. 927 for Jordan Catchpole, 52.83. But William Ellard was so strong there, 51.97. 51.97, James.
What an incredible swim. at 51.97 for 974 points.
And how are we sitting with the medalists?
I'm waiting for confirmation because I think we might have a tie for third place between Stephen Clegg on 934 and Shadard with 934.
Great. William Ellard confirmed as the winner of that heat. We do have a disqualification. It doesn't affect the top spots. William Ellard winning that close contest against Bandera. Stephen Clegg in third spot, just ahead of Jordan Catchpole in terms of points. Flora Murray is the man who was disqualified in that final. What a final that was. William Ellard and Gabriel Bandera going head to head. Absolutely superb racing there. So in terms of the points, Bandera and Ellard out ahead.
Ellard, Bandera, Clegg and Shadard, I believe, in joint third.
Jordan Catchpole swam well too. He was strong in the closing stages there, 927 points, but I'm sorry, not good enough for a medal.
Incredible scenes. Stephen Clegg even moving it forward again, only 0.02 quicker this morning, but backing up the swim. And William Ellard, I'm lost for words.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to find out about this guy, William Ellard, that's for sure.
51.97 is an amazing swim.
I mean, Rhys Dunn's world record, British record, European record is 51.52. So it's just 0.45 outside that one. That is a sensational swim from William Ellard.
I'd be worried to give him another swim tonight.
Bandera as well showed he was in great form. He didn't want to be beaten. But great racing there. Fantastic close contest. That's what we like to see in these World Para Finals. So we can now go down to the studio and back to Ashley.
Thanks, Paul. Yes, I'm with Stephen Clegg. Just about caught your breath there. How did you find that final?
You know, there are some good components of it that I'm really happy with. Opening speed was really strong, but got a bit clunky towards the end. The time was not too bad. I think it's the third or fourth best time I've ever done, so like a little bit quicker, but still early days.
But mentally, you know, you've got your first event out the way. You've got a few more in store for us across the next few days. Just tell us what you're up to.
Yeah, that's the first of four. I've got the 100 back tomorrow, the 50 freestyle, and the 100 fly later in the week as well. You know, I've had a lot of work done on the freestyle this year, so hopefully that 53 will be a bit of a move on from what I've been doing in the past.
And there's so many athletes here, including your brother James, who's had a little bit of a hiatus from the international scene, 10 years. I mean, what's it like to be competing against him again?
Oh, it's fantastic. You know, like you say, it's been 10 years for him away from the sport, and it's great to see him come back. And, you know, I think he surprised a few people how well he's doing after such a long vacation.
Yes.
Yeah, and hopefully it's more for him to more for him to come, and just the beginning of a nice little comeback.
Yeah, what a comeback. And he came second in his final. Do you think he'll be pleased with that?
Oh, absolutely. I think me and him are always very competitive with each other and with ourselves. But I think he'll be very pleased with how he's done this week so far, and he's got a very busy week ahead of him as well, which may be a bit bold, but exciting week for him.
Now, I know that this is your first event as part of the World Series. What's the goal? What are your future goals? Are you going to be taking part in a few more?
Yeah, I'm looking maybe 2 more, looking at Berlin and potentially France World Series as well. That's a new one in the circuit this year, so I'll be quite keen to try that one and see what that's like. Yeah, and be a nice warm-up for the World Championships in Manchester. Oh,
well, it's great to speak to you, Stephen. Well done. Thank you so much. Let's go back to commentary.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
Well done, Stephen. Great performance there. made that qualification standard. Well done to James Clegg as well. Great to see him back, isn't it?
Absolutely, and as Stephen said, surprising people. Two solid swims today. Great performances.
Yeah, you got to take your hat off to James Clegg. He's a competitor, that is for sure. I remember when he made the team for the 2012 games in London. He was a bit of an outsider, but he came through and won a medal in London and from the outside lane in 100 fly.
It was a great swim. I remember watching it, and just for James to go and get himself a medal at Paralympic Games.
Yeah,
it's all of our dreams as well.
59.99 it was, wasn't it? I'm sure it was that 59.99 in the final, wasn't it?
It was something like that, 99.98. It was just dipped under that minute mark.
Absolutely superb. Here are the swimmers for the 200 metres individual medley for women. We have seen Ella Litton-Jones, SM13 swimmer from Swim Gwynedd in lane number 9. Amanda Redhead goes for Maxwell in lane 0. She's in the SM8 classification. Abigail Wickens coming out in lane number 8 in the SM8 class. Can't get my lanes and my classifications mixed up this time because it's an SM8 in lane 8. Nice and easy for me. Thanks, Abigail. Coral Farrell. Looking confident as she steps out there in the SM10 classification. Of course, it's a medley event, which is why there's an SM prefix in front of the race. So for the medley event, individual medley, you'll have SM as your classification. Breaststroke will be SB, and all the other strokes will just have the S in front of them. Of course, James, that's just because it's a different classification for breaststroke. It's kind of different muscle groups. Different impairments affect the breaststroke in a different way, and because breaststroke's part of the medley, that's why the medley's got its own classification, hasn't it?
Yeah, and we see it all the time with breaststroke being such a different stroke and how it's propelled forward in the water. That some of these impairments, to make it fair, need to be categorised differently. And with breaststroke being a fundamental part of the IM, you see a lot of races won and lost on the breaststroke. To make sure that everyone is racing in that level playing field, there's classification for medley.
Swimmers continue to come out for this national final. They come out like outside in, if you like, so they go from the outside lanes into the centre lanes. Evie Lambert going in there. We saw Lucy Jones, Astrid Carroll, Isabella Haynes, I should say. Brooklyn Hale back in again. Her second national final of the evening. Connie Ratley again will be in that centre lane like she was for the 100 freestyle. So a few returning faces here, James, from event 1.
And it's good for these younger swimmers to do the 200 IM and to really challenge themselves with it so they can build those skills and they can develop all parts of their swimming. And it should help them further down in their career as well when they get a bit more specialised like I was.
So again, Brooklyn Hale in lane number 5 is the youngest in the field, born in 2010. So just 13 years of age this year. She may only still be 12, but she goes in the S9 classification. So there's a few S9s together there, James, aren't there, in the centre?
Again, a nice racing opportunity for those 4 S9s between lane 2 and 5. And Brooklyn Hale getting herself in a centre lane at 12 years old, swimming some really quick times. Is she one to look out for in the future?
Well, you've got to think so. You've got to think so. We have a few youngsters in here. Brooklyn Hale going out in lane number 5. She's behind Connie Ratley, I think. Connie Ratley, a couple of years older, the Colchester swimmer. Ratley will lead them through. Evie Lambert in second place, so it is the S9s leading the way. Coral Farrell from Warrington in third place at that turn, and Astrid Carroll in fourth, but it's pretty close between, there's not many people that have kind of dropped off the pace. pretty tight in these early stages.
And it matters when we get to the breaststroke if somebody starts to pull through the field. But in lane 4 at the moment, Connie Ratley is just swimming very, very calmly. Looks like she's in control of this race. It was a good flight, it was a lovely underwater. The skills look like she's worked on them.
Yeah, Connie Ratley was the biggest point scorer in the qualification, 651 points for Connie Ratley, and the time that she did was 2:56.20. So Astrid Carroll coming through in lane number 6. She had a good swim in terms of time, 2:52.06. So she was ahead of Connie Ratley in terms of time, but the points, Connie Ratley had much more points than Astrid Carroll. And Astrid Carroll pulling through, showing, James, as you said, showing that breaststroke prowess there in lane 6.
And it's so important that as people are starting to get tired and starting to slow down, having that breaststroke as a strong part of your IM really does give you an advantage. She's taken several metres out of Connie Ratley and now puts herself in a good place for the freestyle leg.
Well, Carroll has gone over in 2:13.77. Let's see if she can improve the time that she did in those qualification heats. She's just about the same time as she went through in the heats this morning, and she came back in that 2:52.06. It looks like Connie Ratley is swimming this really well in the centre lane. She's going to get a big points total, I think. She's going to be the one to beat, and I wonder if this is going to be the contest for the points in terms of who is going to finish in 3rd place. That 3rd place contest between Evie Lambert and Brooklyn Hale. Into the wall though, and it is Connie Ratley 6:56, Astrid Carroll 5:45. Look at this contest in here, and it is Evie Lambert who just takes it from young Brooklyn Hale. 586 points against 583, 302.50 and 302.77.
And Connie Ratley going a second quicker than she did this morning. So again, moving it on from heats to finals.
So Connie Ratley 2:56 in the heats, 2:55 in the final.
Some good point scores there as well, 656 points.
Yeah. So 6:51 in the heat, 6:56 in the final. So it looks like Connie Ratley is going to be confirmed as the winner of that national final. She's had a good day, Connie Ratley. She's really pleased with her performances. 2 national finals. And she's ended up on top. If we get confirmation of the result, I think we should do. Connie Ratley, Evie Lambert and Brooklyn Hale. There we go, 656 points. Evie Lambert 586 and Brooklyn Hale 583. So Connie Ratley takes that one. Great swim from the youngster, just born in 2008, James, so 14 or 15 years of age at the moment. Great prospect.
Exactly, and that was just calm, confident, great swimming. Again, we're moving it. Every time she gets in the water, she's moving it forward, which is a sign you want to see.
So here we go, another World Series final. Get the calculator out, James. Keep track of this one as well. Who's going to post the times for the other 2 finals to chase? Maori Yui from Japan and Cheng Zhou from China are in the outside lanes. They both in the S5 classification, the SM5 classification. Number of SM6s coming out now. Lu Daomin from China. Another one who burst onto the scene back in the 2019 World Championships, taking that breaststroke gold medal. Here's Nicole Turner making her way out. Nicole Turner, Paralympic medalist in 50 butterfly for the Irish team. Verena Schott back in again, her 2nd final of the evening. Great individual medley swimmer, Verena Schott. And she will be looking for a big points total here, Verena. 826 points in qualification. She was behind Grace Harvey though. Grace Harvey. Again, this could be a chance for the likes of Grace Harvey to have a challenge on the qualification standard, James.
Absolutely, and get between her and Maisie going underneath that qualifying standard, and Maisie, last year's winner, also trying to get the world record in that 200 metres medley.
So Lu Weiyuan, Jiang Shen, Maisie Summers-Newton. Well, what a record Maisie Summers-Newton has had in recent years. She's won all the major championships. She's won the world, she's a world champion. She is the European champion, Paralympic champion, world record holder, Maisie Summers-Newton. Scarlett Humphrey, her Northampton teammate, right next to her, who's been in British record-breaking form every time she's hit the water today.
Scarlett's having an incredible day, and is it going to be 4 from 4? Is Maisie going to get near to her world record, and is Grace going to manage to dip underneath that qualification standard and get onto our list, Paul?
Yeah, another one to add to the list, hopefully, we hope. We shall see what happens in this 200 metres individual medley. Maisie Summers-Newton looked really good in qualification, 968 points for her. Still some very fast international swimmers to come. We may challenge the time of Maisie Summers-Newton, but at the moment, Maisie Summers-Newton is going to be the favourite, and almost lightning reactions there from Maisie Summers-Newton off the gun. She was away and clear. Obviously the swimmers who have more propulsion off the blocks are faster in the water. A very positive start there from Scarlett Humphrey. And Lu Weiyuan from China in lane number 3, swimming that one-arm butterfly stroke. They look like the two that are leading them up the fly, Humphrey and Lu.
Humphrey is going up very strong indeed, really pushing that fly leg. And we have SM6s in lane 1s, lane 2, lane 5, 7 and 8. It's the races of the 6 here. Seeing when Nicole Turner can get in amongst Grace Harvey and Maisie for the points.
Yeah, and Verena Schott as well.
And
Don't
Verena
forget
Schott.
about Verena. There's yeah, number of top performers in the SM6 classification. Daomi Lu as well, Chinese swimmer up there in lane number 8. Who's a very strong breaststroker. But at the front of the field, well, Scarlett Humphrey going well, but being pegged back now by Maisie Summers-Newton in lane number 5. We'll just keep an eye on the clock for Maisie Summers-Newton. She went out pretty fast, didn't she, in the first 3 legs of the first 3 lengths of this 200 IM this morning.
And she seems to have got herself really back in the race next to Scarlett on that backstroke leg. Strong breaststroker as well, so should see Maisie really push forward on this 3rd length.
Yeah, Scarlett Humphrey's getting the benefit of the good legs. She has the visually impaired swimmer. Maisie Summers-Newton doesn't get the propulsion off the wall, but once she gets into her stroke, she's away and running. She's won all the accolades in the breaststroke as well. World champion, Paralympic champion in 100 breaststroke, and also Commonwealth champion in the 100 breaststroke as well from Birmingham last year. And she's pulling up alongside. It's the 2 Northampton swimmers. What a day for Northampton here. They lead a huge international field into the last leg of this 200 IM.
These two must be used to training together and really pushing each other on this 200 IM. So to be within 800ths of each other at 150 onto the last leg now, and seeing which one of them is going to come away with the fastest time.
Well, Scarlett Humphrey and Maisie Summers-Newton. Maisie Summers-Newton showing her strength here. She wants to finish ahead of her teammate, that's for sure. I can tell you, she is on world record pace, but when she set that world record, it was a blistering last 50 that Maisie Summers-Newton did to take that record time. 2:56.68 is the time. The world record held by Maisie Summers-Newton, set in Tokyo at the Paralympic Games. She's going to be very close to that. 2:56.68, and it's 2:57.19. Wow, what a swim from Maisie Summers-Newton. That was incredibly fast. Scarlett Humphrey, 2:58.40. just ran out of steam on that freestyle there for Scarlett Humphrey, but another great time from her.
And another amazing swim for Humphrey, but we can't not talk about Maisie. 991 points, and to be that close to the world record. She's in good shape, she's on fire. Let's focus on Manchester. I'd eat my hat if there isn't another world record. I'm not wearing a hat, but if there's not another world record at Manchester this summer.
Yeah, Maisie Summers-Newton, absolutely incredible. 991 points. And what was that? With 256.68 against 257.19, so half a second just outside that world record time that she set at the big championships as well, James. The biggest of the championships in Tokyo to win that gold medal.
And to be able to turn up there and get the gold medal and perform the way that Maisie did, it just shows the calibre of athlete that she really is, and that she can just achieve again and again and again.
Well, she has turned in a great performance tonight. I think it looks like it might be Grace Harvey in second, yeah. 3:05.31 for Grace Harvey. So she improved that time that she swam in the morning's heats, edging closer to that qualifying standard, but the standard was 3:02.74, so Maisie Summers-Newton already achieved that time. Grace Harvey just outside of that one. And I think it's Verena Schott who gets up there for third place, is it? 856?
Absolutely, very close between Schott and Harvey there for the third place within that World Series final.
And 4 SM6s at the top there. Summers-Newton, Harvey, Schott and Turner. Great way to start this 200 metres individual medley World Para Series finals.
It's going to take a big swim in the next two finals to knock Maisie off that #1 spot.
It certainly is. Brooke Whiston, another swimmer who is very close to the qualification standard. Well, watch out for that. 252.90 is the standard that Brooke Whiston has to achieve. Zhu Jiling from China goes in lane 0, SM9 swimmer. The two SM9s on the outside lanes here, Brooke Whiston and Zhu Jiling. Again, a few S11 swimmers in this one. There's the first of them, Wang Jiyin. Jia Ma, world record holder, set that in the Tokyo Games in 2021. Fast time of 2:42. Lisette Broadsma, a European record holder. We've seen her in good shape earlier on tonight, taking that great swim in the 100 freestyle. There's Faye Rogers again, featuring in one of these World Para Series final, James.
She's having a very busy day today. Coming into the sport here and making World Series finals. It's a very exciting time for Faye.
There's Anastasia Dimitriev. Dimitriev burst onto the scene last year, world champion 100 breaststroke in the SB8 class, a Spanish swimmer.
Our second highest point scorer from the heats.
Janina Brauer went through for Germany, and the two in the centre lanes. Tatiana Lebrun, breaststroke bronze medalist at the World Championships last year. And in lane 4, it's the S10 swimmer from China, Chen Yi. She was the fastest into this final in 2:38.01. In terms of points, it was, as you said, James, Dimitriev. 893 points.
It's going to take a big swim from Dimitriev to challenge Maisie's 991 points from the previous final.
Oh yeah. World record for the SM9 class is held by Sophie Pascoe of New Zealand. Very fast, 2:25, so it's going to be a huge effort to get close to that points total, but Dimitriev has been a real star and a real find for the Spanish team. They she really burst onto the scene, the Spanish swimmer last year. She swam in the World Championships, and the Spanish team taking relay medals in the mixed relays, which, you know, they've been there or thereabouts in the women's relays before. They've never really been around in the men's relays for a long time, but they've got the mixed team now, and with Anastasia Dimitriev, they've got a big, good squad. Good squad.
It was a very good squad, and they took away one of the medals for myself, so I know quite how good that squad is.
Is that a bit painful?
Only a little bit. But yeah, as you say, coming on the scene, swimming extremely well, and to even be in the same conversation as someone like Sophie Pascoe, who has done it all and is a hero amongst to a lot of the para swimmers here, it's saying a lot.
And of course, she's on the team, same team, swims against Sarai Gascon.
Another S9 hero in the swimming world.
Into a halfway point. In first place it is Faye Rogers. Good butterfly, good backstroke.
Good strong first leg, and he said, Paul, she's looking forward to the 100 butterfly later on in the week, so showing some promise down that first 50.
Qualification standard for Faye Rogers is fast qualification standard as well, 2:31.44. So it might be a little bit of an ask for Faye Rogers to do that, but she's looking good in these early stages. Janina Brauer, one lane next to her in that red cap. It's going well, the German. Dimitriev coming through now in the top lane of that 5 swimmers, and just the one lane above the yellow lanes there.
A very strong breaststroke leg from Dimitriev, but and coming back in, the breaststroke was the way to do it at this point. And faced it in there.
Yeah, second spot. And 2:01.61 at that turn. Tatiana Lebrun from Belgium taking up the running. Faye Rogers looks like she might just get the better here of Tatiana Lebrun, but it's very tight as they come past us at the commentary position. Faye Rogers is just about holding on here. This could be a good swim from Faye Rogers, University of Aberdeen performance swimmer. It's been chased by Janina Brauer, one lane up for her, but I think Faye Rogers might just take this one, James. She's in 2:37, I think, yeah, 2:37.21, ahead of Tatiana Lebrun, 2:37.85. Top point scorer was Dimitriev, and let's have a look at Brock Whiston here. 2:40.68 for Brock Whiston. And that is a big improvement for Brock Whiston. 240.70 for Brock Whiston, sorry. I thought it was 240.08, so it is an improvement. 240.78 this time for Brock Whiston. Just outside the qualification standard again. 2:39, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good swim from Brock and moving it forward, and the same with Faye. Another second off from this morning. So an excellent swim, and just getting closer and closer and closer to that qualification standard, and just starting to look towards what future qualification standards might look like.
Yeah, well, Brock Whiston will have another chance. I think the individual medal was a good chance for Brock there, and she's just gone shy of that one. 857 points though, and that is going to be up there and challenging. Dimitriev in first position, 868. So where are we standing now, James?
Maisie out in front, 991 points. I believe Grace Harvey with 866 and Dimitriev with 868. So very close there.
Yeah, very close, 2 points. But Dimitriev will be ahead of Grace Harvey as we stand. The results are confirmed here in the venue. And there is Anastasia Dimitriev, 240.08. Just ahead of Brock Whiston there, 857 points, the 2 SM9 swimmers. Faye Rogers had a good swim in third position, 782. So Brock Whiston just outside that qualification standard. She was hoping just to dip under that. She'll have a chance on the breaststroke though, won't you, James?
Yeah, breaststroke's one of her main races, and she's had some real strong breaststroke swims in the past. So we saw her there, that Brock's in good shape. So looking forward to the breaststroke later on in the week.
So the third final. Luis Fides leads them out. He's won medals in this 200 metres individual medley on the international stage, medalist at the World Championships last year. Pernilla Lindberg in another World Series final, supported by the Swedish fans in here, being very vocal. And there is Zhang Meng from China, another Chinese presence in this World Series final. Finalist in the Paralympic Games in Tokyo and in Rio. And there is Bianca Papp. Well, what a last couple of years she's had. Gold medalist in Tokyo in the backstroke, silver medalist in this individual medley. Bianca Papp from Hungary. There's Hong Kong swimmer Chan Yu Lam. Poppy Maskell back in the water again. Qualification standard was achieved in the qualification heats this morning for Poppy Maskell. There's Maria Carolina Gomez Santiago. Again, we saw her in the final of that 100 freestyle. And there's Roisin Nirian from Ireland. Another good swim in the qualification heats there, 2:30.75. 2 medals at the Worlds last year for Roisin. Bethany Firth, well, one of the great competitors, has been one of Britain's most successful Paralympic medalists in the last 2 Paralympic Games. I also took gold medal when she represented the Irish team back in 2012.
And those in lane 4 and 5 as well are second and third place medalists from last year. So looking forward to getting back on that podium if they can.
So 2 Irish swimmers in the centre lanes. Bethany Firth, of course, represents Great Britain, but represented Northern Ireland in the Commonwealth Games. And I think it's the case that she was Northern Ireland's very first swimming medalist in the Commonwealth Games.
What an achievement. That's
absolutely.
I like those kind of records and being the first to do things and paving the way for future success. And Beth is a great swimmer. You saw there that skills off the start were excellent. She's been doing this a while and she really has those things refined down, and it makes the race more efficient, meaning she can use more energy towards the end to try and push on for those times. Poppy Maskell going out quickest. Strong flying backstroke leg for Poppy.
Yeah, Bethany Firth is probably a butterfly, is you would say probably the weakest part of the IM, you would think. Very strong backstroker. She's a Paralympic champion in backstroke 2012, 2016 and 2020. So backstroke you would say pretty strong.
I would say that's pretty strong.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say any of it's not strong though either. No. She's a very good all-round swimmer and has those, as I said, has those skills.
So Firth goes into the lead now, ahead of Poppy Maskell. It's Chan in second place, Bianca Papp showing the Paralympic champion in backstroke. Came through into third position there. Roisin Nirian still going well. Maria Carolina Gomez Santiago from Brazil, just 1 lane down from the leader. Bethany Firth is right there in the mix. Poppy Maskell still going well there in lane number 6. She is digging in there, but Roisin Nirian coming back, the Irish swimmer, in lane number 5.
And not to forget Louise Fides, who's come on really strong down in lane 0. Really made some ground up on that breaststroke leg.
Yeah, Louise Fides, medalist in breaststroke at the international stage as well. But here comes Bethany Firth now. British record holder at 2:19.55. Not sure she's going to challenge that time today, but let's have a look at the points totals that she is going to register here. I think Maisie Summers-Newton is going to be safe, I think, in terms of points for this World Para Series, but Bethany Firth is going to register a big total here. 8:65 for her. Roisin Nirian 8:44 and Poppy Maskell 8:26. Gomez Santiago 8:54. Not sure anyone else is going to challenge those points totals, James, as Zhang comes in for China in lane number 1. 650 points, but good performance from Bethany.
Excellent before 3 finals. Waiting to just confirm my third place, but I know that Maisie has taken it 991. Dimitriev with 868, and I can't read my writing, Paul.
Was it Grace Harvey? It's 866.
It's 86 something, and further on 865.
Oh no. Oh, James Hollis has fallen at that. It was all going so well.
I wasn't told I was going to need to have good handwriting for this.
I think it was Grace. I remember it was 866. So that means Bethany First missed out by 1 point.
1 point. How much of a chunk of time is 1 point?
Well, it depends what class you're in, I suppose, doesn't it? Because the 1 point is different for each classification. But I suppose for Bethany First, it's going to be around about, I don't know, 5 100s, something like that, maybe.
Such a small amount.
Yeah. Small margins in this sport game.
So I'm adding to the suspense here before I confirm who is our
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
third place. Not that we didn't need any more of that after some of those swims. Excellent swimming by all 3 finals.
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it? The Maisie Summers Newton, the biggest points total of the day, I think, 991 points. We've seen a few in the 900 range. I'm not sure if we had any earlier on to get any higher than that one. But still waiting for confirmation of this result, so hopefully there's not an issue with it. Hopefully we're not going to get something dramatic happen before this result is confirmed. We don't have any S11, so we've got no goggles to check. Oh, we do have a disqualification in this one, James. It won't affect the top places. It is one of the top swimmers, though, Bianca Papp, unfortunately, being disqualified. But Bethany Firth confirmed in first position, ahead of Maria Carolina Gomez Santiago and Roisin Rian. And James Hollis's statistical career has gone up in flames.
I was known for my talking, Paul, not my attention to detail. More of a challenging aspect for me. Multitasking, I cannot do that.
So
I dare not check the Twitter feed now of
people
tweeting in.
We need to catch up with the Twitter. Please send us your messages on Twitter. We'll give you a mention as we move in. Well, we have some ceremonies for us to enjoy as well. We may be going down to the studio if we can catch some of the swimmers from that previous event. With Ashley, we will wait and see if we can catch anyone.
Just a message from Robert and Katie Nesbitt. Lasagna swimming and having a great time watching swimming like the old times. So bit of a throwback for them. Keep your tweets coming in at #Sheffield 2023.
Sounds ideal. So we are going to medal presentations. We're not going back to the studio for Ashley. Medal presentations now for the 100 freestyle events that we saw earlier. Start with the men's 100 freestyle. We're due to have the women's first, but we've got the men for some reason. So you were right, James. Tie for third. Well done.
It makes up for the most recent one, doesn't it? I'm now using these to work out whether my calling it was correct.
So well done, Lauren Chardard looks very happy. Stephen Clegg also great swim. Gabriel Bandera. Oh, not so happy Bandera this time. He was beaten by a newcomer, a swimmer in the same classification as him. Great swim from Bandera though. William Ellard takes it.
And what a swim that was. Just to come in, smash it out the park, take home your first World Series gold medal.
Two gold medals, of course, has been the British winner as well. So he's been that second gold medal round his neck. He's the British champion as well as being the international champion. Double whammy.
2 gold medals for the person one.
Absolutely. And it only took him 51.97 seconds. Wow. 51. Goodness.
Could you ever swim that fast, Paul?
No.
No,
Well, maybe for 50. 25 these days, maybe.
give me some fins and I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. I do remember getting back in the pool with Katie Gray and Liz Johnson were working on the media side of it, and in the European Championships at Dublin we got back in the pool and I was thinking, right, I'm swimming all right here, and they were both going flying past me. I was thinking, what? So I'm really out of shape. I didn't realise they had fins on.
That does make a difference.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
With the new para swimming stuff in Masters, Paul, would you be motivated to get back in and do some para swimming Masters?
I'll need to wait till I move up an age group to that. This is it, Brunsma on the medal podium again. Dutch swimmer. Excellent swim there in that 100 freestyle. Jian Yuan from China. Another great swim. Chinese swimmer on the podium. Won't be the last Chinese swimmer we'll see on the podium. Maria Carolina Gomez Santiago. World record last week at the Italian World Series. Gold medal here in Sheffield. And there is the British national champion, Tony Shaw. What a good swim that was from Tony. We were talking about that earlier. Well done, Tony Shaw. Qualification standard achieved for the Great Britain team for the World Championships. We've added her to the list. She's the only one we've added to the list tonight, I think, James. Tony? So 6 from this morning. Tony
might be
is a new one from tonight.
Some of our really strong swims tonight have come from people that had really strong swims this morning as well, which is great to see, but doesn't allow us to add more names to our list.
Of course, 24 swimmers making the qualification standard is the maximum for Great Britain. So, well, that's the standard that they have set for themselves. That's the Great Britain standard. So 24 swimmers, if more than 24 swimmers qualify from this meet, then they have almost like a count-back situation. They go on percentages faster than the qualification time. So the faster you go, the better chance that you have got to make that qualification time.
And it's a difficult world to be in when you have. It's a good world, but a difficult world to be in when you've got more than that number making the team. So exciting that we should need to worry about that.
See how it goes. It's 7 obviously tonight. If we continue to get 7 a day, that's going to be in excess of the 24. So swimmers coming out for the 200 individual medley. We saw Kai Bradford, Matthew Scott, Akash Das, Angus Leckenby making his way over to lane number 1. Lewis Jones, the SM9 swimmer in lane 7. Zach Sturgis will go in lane number 2. The SM10 swimmer from Bournemouth College. Ryan Potter. I don't think he took the start in the 100 freestyle, James. He's obviously saving himself for this 200 IM. Owen Garsides goes in 3. Joseph Greaves and Bruce D still to come out. There's Bruce D. Interesting one, Bruce D in this national final. He's in the centre lane, one of the highest points earners from the heats, but he will be behind the field, James, and that's going to be an interesting challenge for him, isn't it?
Absolutely, and these finals, unlike the World Series finals, are seeded based on points. So if you have the highest point score, you're in the middle lane. So and due to the classifications, your highest point score might not be your fastest swimmer. So It'll be an interesting challenge. You might have swimmers kind of swim away from him at the start, but using that as a bit of motivation to drive him forward and see what he can pull from this race.
Final swimmer we saw out there was Joseph Greaves, who had that excellent swim in the 100, that very close contest in the 100 freestyle to take that 100 free final. He was looking to do the double, but there is Bruce D, another one of the Northampton team.
I can confirm, just before this race starts, that Grace Harvey did get the bronze medal with 1 point more than Bethany Fair.
There you go. You've redeemed yourself, James.
The benefits of technology. So, across the bottom of the screen, we have two S14 races going on in 0 and 1 and 3 and 4. So they'll be directly racing each other. And Bruce D, our highest point scorer from the morning. Josh Greaves, our highest points scorer from this morning in lane 4, with Bruce D also scoring very high in lane 5.
Yeah, there wasn't much between them, only 20 points between the two of them, so that's not much at all. Bruce D was just over the 3-minute mark, so if he can dip under 3 minutes, he's going to be close to that target that Joseph Greaves set in the morning, but it's up to Joseph Greaves then to move it on now, isn't it?
And Joseph Greaves coming in the back of this off that really tough race of the 100 freestyle where he just got the touch.
Yeah,
with
he got the touch
with the
at
long
the end.
arms.
Yeah. So we're really strong in the 100, and it looks like Owen Garsides is the stronger in the backstroke as he goes over the halfway point. Good backstroke from Owen Garsides there, wasn't it?
He's gone out really strong on that fly in the back, and Joseph Greaves looks to be chasing him down now on that breaststroke leg.
Let's keep an eye on Bruce D as he comes through the... We're not going to see him on the screen, but we can tell you that he's gone over at the halfway point at 1:27.88, so slightly slower than he went this morning, Bruce D. So he's going to have to pick this up in the second half of this IM if he's going to challenge Joseph Greaves at the front of the field here in terms of points.
And Joseph Greaves and Owen Garsides are kind of evening out now. They're going to touch about the same sort of time. So it's now a dead race down this last length between the two of them. Seen that Joseph Greaves has a great freestyle leg from his 100 earlier. So seeing what Owen can hold in reserve and fight back with now.
Well, he is trying to hold on to Joseph Greaves. I think Joseph Greaves is going to be a little bit stronger though. So Joseph Greaves is coming away now, and it looks like he's going to be ahead of Owen Garside. We'll just check the points now. He went 688 points, and he's improved that to 705. Wow, 682 for Owen Garsides, and 628. Bruce D. He's a little bit slower than he went in this morning's heat, so he's going to have to finish pretty quickly if he's going to challenge that points total from Joseph Greaves. As the swimmers at the top of the pool come home now. Lewis Jones, Akash Dash, and Kai Bradford. Lewis Jones 537 points, 515, 453. Bruce D coming in now. I'm not sure he's going to challenge that 705. He finishes in 647, Bruce D. So Joseph Greaves, I think, is going to take another national final. He looked strong, didn't he, James? 223.21.
That's a great swim from him, and again another second dropping, just over a second dropping from heats to finals. So that improvement and being able to perform when it matters in the final is a skill that he is definitely learning here.
Yeah, well, 2 national finals for Joseph Greaves. Excellent performances from the Nova swimmer.
And what a great race between those two as well.
Yeah.
Really, really fighting with each other to try and get to that wall first.
Owen Garsides gave absolutely everything there, but the strength on the freestyle was just too much, and Joseph Greaves pulled away. Bruce D does get third in that final, 647 points for the SM6 swimmer. So we go on to the World Series final now.
Where's this one coming from, Paul?
Well, it's difficult to tell who's going to take the initiative in this one. Niki Basilov was the highest points earner from the heats this morning, so watch out for him in lane number 6. He's in, again, the SM7 classification. He's the only SM7 in this particular final, so we'll watch out, see what kind of points total he can get. It's someone who's come onto the world stage. There's Samuel da Silva, David Oliveira, going in lane 0. Second of the Chinese, there's Wang Jingyang. We saw Wang Lichao in lane number 9 go out earlier. David Sanchez Sierra from Spain. He was in the 750 point range. And there's Liu Fengyi. 3 Chinese swimmers all in a row. Liu going in lane number 7. There's the 4th of the Chinese swimmers in this final. Yang Guolong. Here is the swimmer who might just be the favourite for this one, Inaki Basilov. Had a great World Championships last year, Basilov. Took 4 medals, including a silver medal in this one, the individual medley. Uchu Tomita. Again, Tomita, we spoke about him earlier, winning a medal in his home Paralympic Games in Tokyo. And Diogo Cancela, a medalist for the Portuguese team in the World Championships in Madeira last year. So 2 swimmers in the centre lanes who have experience winning medals at major championships in their home country. But Luke Batty, what a swim he had in the heats. Really fast swim from Luke Batty. That time of 2:30, I think it was improved from something like 2:38, wasn't it?
What a swim as well.
Yeah.
To drop that is a great achievement. And so he's coming into this race in the middle lane, just going to race it now. How would you approach this if you were Luke?
Oh, you've just got to do the same again, haven't you? You've got to try and improve. He's on a roll now. He must be swimming with confidence.
Just a little bit faster.
Yeah. Luke is coached by a British butterfly record holder in the S8 class. Go on, James.
He's not rich.
Yeah.
He's coached
Richard
by
Howard.
Rich.
Yeah.
A man that was flying, literally flying, when I first came on the scene. A great swimmer in his own right, and just one of maybe 3 or 4 100-metre fly swimmers that were around when I started my career that really kind of held GB in that event.
Yeah, so
nice to see Rich around as well when he's coaching now.
So Luke Batty is his protege. Hope I'm not speaking out of turn. He was last year. I hope he hasn't moved on from Rich, but I don't think so, because I saw Richard Howard here round poolside, so I'm guessing he's still coaching Luke. But out in front, it is Uchu Tomita, swimmer in the S11 class. Again, one of the world's top swimmers in that S11 class. Luke Batty coming back, though. Diogo Cancela on the other side of Luke Batty in this middle lane. 1 lane up is Basilov. Very strong backstroker, Inaki Basilov. Argentina always seem to have strong backstroke specialists there. I remember years ago the only person that used to take the medals for the Argentinian team used to swim against Andrew Lindsay in the Argentina in the S7 backstroke events, but it was Inaki Basilov is continuing that legacy of good backstroke swimmers from Argentina. Good battle in the front here, isn't it, James?
These first 4 real good races developing here, and I think up in lane in lane 6, I think Inaki Basilov's kind of falling off slightly on the breaststroke, but Cancela, Batty and Tomito are really, really battling each other here and seeing who's going to have the most left on this last length of the freestyle.
Yeah, it should be pretty decent points totals here. Basilov Still going well. He's the lowest numerical classification out of the 4 swimmers that are out ahead here. And he's well ahead of the time that he did in the morning. So this could be a huge points total for Basilov. 9:15 in the morning. I expect it to be a little bit bigger, James, but very good stuff from lane 5. And Diogo Cancelo really going for this one. The Portuguese medalist at the World Championships last year. Cancelo now coming into the finish. So followed by Tomita and Batty. And it's 8:52 for Diogo Cancelo, the Portuguese team alongside, like that one. It is Tomita 791, Batty 690, Basilov 962.
Wow, another massive points total. And again, a great swim from Cancelo of Portugal, who's dropped a couple of seconds off his time from this morning as well.
Yeah, great swim there from Diogo Cancelo. Luke Batty went 2:30.95. So another good swim from Luke Batty, following up that good swim that he had in the morning, just 0.3 of a second outside that swim. So that's consistent stuff for Luke Batty, isn't it, after that huge drop today?
To do it twice is only going to give him confidence, and it was a good swim. It looked smart in how he raced, and he kept himself in it.
It was a good race. Diogo Cancelo, you have to say, looked very strong at the end there, didn't he, on the freestyle? Really good from the Portuguese swimmer. Basilov with the highest points total in that one. James is all over it again, I hope.
I'm writing a lot neater now.
That's good.
Kind of.
962 for Inaki Basilov from Argentina. 2:31.89, and that's just outside the Americas record set by, or held by, Carlos Serrano Zarate, who's a multi-Paralympic medalist from Colombia. So he's going to have a little bit of a challenge from Inaki Basilov, I think, when they move into this next season.
It's building an exciting picture now, and whatever happens in Paris, it's going to be a good race between those two.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we have, result is confirmed. 962 points for Inaki Basilov from Argentina. He will lead the way to the next 2 finals. Diogo Cancelo, great swim from him. And Uchu Tomita, 791 points, just getting ahead of De Silva Oliveira and David Sanchez Sierra, who finish in 4th and 5th positions. Basilov 962, Cancelo 852, and Tomita 791. Top 3 so far.
Top 3 after the first final. Second final coming up now. Who do we think is going to challenge for that? And whilst you look, and I'm going to give you a bit of time to answer this, a big shout out to Northampton Swimming Club, who not only are posting using our hashtag, but also a shout out to Director of Swimming Andy Sharp and all the swimmers at Northamptonshire from Leslie Jane Sharp. Pleased to hear that there is someone responding and listening to us, Paul.
Yeah. Well, a number of S14 swimmers in this second final, including William Ellard back in again.
He's raced, he went up to get his medal, and he's coming back to race again.
Again, yeah.
Hopefully he had a swim down, Paul.
Nathan McManus going in lane 0. We saw Zhu Haijiu. There's Roger Dorsman, world record holder. He's going to be tough to beat, I think. But he was beaten in terms of time by Zhu Haijiu in the heats. Here's Ka Chun Hyu in lane 1. Brutos de Oliveira comes out for Brazil, the SM14 swimmer. In lane number 7, have a Malaysian S14 swimmer coming out next. And that's Muhammad Rezudan. Eric Parmentier Belgian swimmer will be next again. Number of S14s in this one. There's Thomas Cordero. SM10 swimmer. What can he do in that centre lane? There's Santiago Sinestro, the Argentinian. He's in one of these middle lanes next to William Ellard. In terms of time, there was only a second or 0.3 of a second separating them. There's William Ellard, fresh from the podium. Making his way in and over to lane number 4. We saw him start very well, William Ellard, didn't we, in the heats this morning. Kind of fell off the pace a little bit towards the end of the race, but it's great. It looked a great start. He looked superb in the 100 freestyle.
Absolutely, and it is difficult to race back-to-back. The interesting battle here between lane 8 and 9, they're in it for second place after the heats, and there was about less than 10 points between them. 2 different classifications, so not a head-to-head race, but look out for lane 8 and lane 9 and their points totals at the end of this.
Well, we'll keep an eye on the times that they did in the heats. We'll see how they are progressing as they go through. That's Roger Dorsman and Zhu Haijo. 2 very experienced campaigners. One, Roger Dorsman in the SM11 class, so a swimmer with no vision at all. He'll be wearing the blacked out goggles. As I said, world record holder, the Netherlands swimmer. Right up there, 2 lanes from the top. Looks like quite a steady start from Zhu there, James. It's quite well behind. That's unusual for the Chinese swimmer over there, right at the top in lane 9.
We've got a good battle forming as well between lane 2 and lane 4 in that first length, going out together really quite hard. And you've got over in lane 7 as well from Brazil, 314s all kind of racing out together here, seeing which one can hold on and stay with it on the breaststroke leg.
Ellard's gone out pretty well in lane number 4. He leads the field here. Just check his progress as we go through this 200 IM. He went 2:20 in the heats this morning. And at the halfway point, he goes over in a 103.54. So William Ellard,
if he can keep this going,
slightly faster than he went this morning.
He looks very relaxed on that backstroke leg. So if he can keep this going and a nice even swim, we could be in for a good time here.
Well, Brutos de Oliveira is coming back now in lane number 7. Very strong breaststroker, and it might just have taken him into the lead, the Brazilian there, just out of shot right at the front of the picture with that yellow cap. He's really picked up on the breaststroke, James.
What a breaststroke leg, and that rate is really still quite high for the third length of the 200 metres, so really pushing it there and really making the most out of what's a really good, strong breaststroke.
So Roger Dorsman is over in 150.06, so he's on for something similar that he did in this morning's heats, and that earned him 865 points. He's going to be somewhere in the top 800s, I think. But here comes the 2 swimmers at the front of the field. Ellard showing his freestyle strength there. Not sure he's going to catch the Brazilian though. And Brutos de Oliveira will just take that one in that time of 2:16.09, 2:16.23 for William Ellard. And it is in the high 800s for Roger Dorsman. 898 points, 223.48. So it was an improvement from the Dutchman as to what we saw in the qualification heats earlier. Excellent performance from the world record holder. Outside his world record on this occasion, but he'll be building towards that this season, won't he, James?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a good swim. And just looking at William Ellard, who's dropped 4 seconds from this morning after racing a spectacular 100 freestyle as well. Absolutely flying at this meet, and I don't know what's going to come next, Paul.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep an eye on him throughout this week. That 100 freestyle was excellent. He's dropped another 4 seconds. don't think we can add anyone just yet to our qualification list. Again, people coming close, but not quite just going over that mark, are they?
We've got a couple in this next World Series final. Cameron Van Combe and Rhys Darby, both close to the qualifying time. Rhys Darby was 3/100ths out this morning, so definitely got the opportunity to get that tonight.
It's going to be a chance. Oh, we do have a disqualification. It was the Chinese swimmer, Zhu Haizhou, was disqualified, but Dorsman, Brutus de Oliveira, and William Ellard are the top three. Where does that leave us, James?
Basilov out in front with 962. Roger Dorsman with 898. And Diogo Cancella at 852.
Are you sure? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just. I said.
I was sure until you asked me, Paul. I'm.
I don't look so. Look on your face, like worried there. What? What I missed? Oh no.
I was sure until I was challenged.
There's Genki Sato coming out. Robert Isaac Jonsson. We saw Matsuda as well. Bas Takken will be next out from the Netherlands. Second time we've seen him in a final. Tall figure, Bas Takken. It's 200 IM. He's a bit of a distance man, you said, James. 200 IM will suit him better than the 100 sprint.
The longer they can make it, the better Bas likes it. He's a very good distance swimmer and has the skills to boot with it. So expect him to be strong down this last length of the 200 IM. Last year's winner was Robert Isaac Jonsson from Iceland, so expect him to be in the mix when it comes to the points totals at the end.
Yeah, he's been there or thereabout the international championships over the years, since about 2017, I think, was the first major we saw him. There's Rhys Darby, we talked about him before. 3/100ths of a second outside that qualification standard. Can he make it in? There's Thomas van Rooij, a Netherlands swimmer medalist at the Paralympic Games, bronze medalist in this 200 IM. There's Alex Portal, the world champion, Frenchman. French having a good night here, some good individual swims. Can Alex Portal add a medal here for this French team? It's going to have to go some, I think, Alex Portal. 833 points, going to need a little bit of an improvement to challenge that top three.
An interesting story from last year, Cameron Van Combe actually won the national final. So he wasn't even in the World Series finals, won a national final, found himself on the plane to Madeira for World Champs, and is now back here in the final of the 3 World Series finals. The chance to qualify and get himself onto our list.
Well, we'll watch out for Cameron Van Combe. He goes in lane number 2 next to Rhys Darby in lane 3. Who's one line down from Alex Portal. The fastest into this final. Not the highest points total, that was Rhys Darby, but Alex Portal was the fastest, so that's why he's going into lane number 4. So Alex Portal.
And let's see how this race between 2 and 3 develops here. Cameron and Rhys, very similar times, both challenging for that qualification standard of 2:13.82.
Well, 2:13.82 was this qualification standard. 2:13.85 was swum by Rhys Darby. Can he go the other way? It'd be nice if it was like 2:13.81 or something. Or 2:13.82 would do it, wouldn't it? Bang on.
Absolutely, yeah.
Alex Portal, again, visually impaired swimmer. His brother swimming in the World Championships as well, so a bit like the Cleggs and the Humphreys.
There's a few siblings all over these GB teams these days. Cameron Van Combe has gone out extremely quickly. He's a strong breaststroker as well, so this is looking like a great swim from Cameron.
So Yamaguchi going well for Japan as well over there in lane number 6.
Van Vanrooy from Netherlands coming back in the centre lane. He's the same class as Alex Portal in lane number 4. So the two visually impaired swimmers in the centre, with the S14 swimmers all on either side of them. Cameron Verncombe still going well. He's ahead of Rhys Darby at this stage, is he? No, Rhys Darby is taken. No, Cameron is ahead of Rhys Darby as he goes into that final turn. Now Cameron Verncombe heading for home. Rhys Darby now giving chase there at the bottom of your screen as Alex Portal is going towards the finish here. Rhys Darby now coming back on Cameron Verncombe. It's the two white hats at the bottom of the screen here. That is the battle between the two GB swimmers. Can they both dip under that qualification standard? Rhys Darby coming alongside Cameron Verncombe. What a race from the two GB swimmers here at the bottom. And it's Rhys Darby who reaches for the wall. 869 points. Cameron Verncombe, 862 points. And oh my goodness. Well, one is in and one is not.
That's tough. Cameron gave that everything and really dug in to try and get their time. And they're both so quick this morning. It was a great race, and really happy for Rhys to get himself in contention for one of those slots.
And the time, 2:13.56 for Rhys Darby. That's inside the 2:13.82 qualification standard, or consideration standard, I should say, for the GB team. Cameron Verncombe, 2:13.92, 0.1 of a second outside. Wow. Yamaguchi, a great swim there from him, 2:11.80 to take that one. Alex Portal, excellent swim at the front of the field from the Frenchman. And make no apologies for concentrating on the two. That real close battle for the two GB swimmers to try and achieve that qualification standard. Well done. Well, Rhys Darby, we can add to the list. Oh, Cameron Verncombe will be back. He's a great breaststroker. And that'll be tough. That will be tough.
And it's a really difficult situation. Cameron's had an excellent swim. That's a personal best time for him, and just missed out on the qualification standard. It's bittersweet.
Absolutely. He knows he's got other events to come, though. That was a big chance for Cameron Verncombe. We'll see what the breaststroke brings for Cameron Verncombe. He's very strong in the breaststroke. As we move up to the other end of the pool now, because we have the 150 metres individual medley for women. Two more races for us to enjoy. And there, Ellie Chalice, she's been enjoying herself today. It's for sure. Look at that. Well, that's an entrance, isn't it?
She's having a great time, and that's what I love. Racing is meant to be fun. Like, this sport is meant to be fun, and for her to come here, put in some really great performances and enjoy every second of it, like, that's what it's all about. Just finishing off, I believe, Paul, I'm quite confident in these results that Basilov takes the win at 962 points. Yamaguchi with a massive swim compared to this morning with 905 points, and Roger Dorsman with 898 points.
Said confidently by James Hollis.
I'm never going to live this down. If I do make a mistake, the iPad has died, so I cannot look up the results.
Oh, be fine. We're not in charge of giving out the medals anyway. Whatever we say, we're not in charge. We just talk about it.
We could ask to give out the medals. They wouldn't let us, but we could ask.
So the swimmers making their way out to this 150 IM. Full lineup. Ellie Chalice from Great Britain is the only swimmer in the SM3 classification. She goes in lane 1. All the others are in the SM4 class. We have 3 from China in lanes 2, 3, and 4. Peng Qingpen, Xu Yanfei, and Lu Yu. Also have Patricia Pereira dos Santos from Brazil in lane 5. Liu Hongman from China in lane 6. We have Gina Butcher from Germany. She goes in lane 7. And the second Brazilian is Lydia Vieira de Cruz, who goes in lane number 8. So again, Ellie Chalice, great form she was in this morning. set that new British record. Smashed the old one by some 4 seconds, 3:24.69 for Ellie Chalice. That is the new mark that she has to challenge.
And we commented this morning, Paul, that Ellie's freestyle leg has come on massively. She was probably behind the British record at the 100-metre mark, but that freestyle leg really just took her well underneath it.
There's Gina Burcham. Again, in these lower numerical classes, James, a range of starting techniques and starting devices used, aren't they?
Absolutely, and it's all about making the most of your impairment and trying to come up with a novel way of getting that advantage. It's one of the most fascinating things about para sport is that because everything is not so set and the techniques are not so set, you can be a bit creative in how that you create your starting device or how you try and get over that challenge. And you do see some athletes come up with some absolutely wonderful ways to get that little bit of an advantage.
And there was, you know, a few years back, and everybody does it now in kind of the S1 class and some of the S2s as well, that swimmers getting held by the feet when they're doing the backstroke, rather than having to try and hold on to the side. They might have like severe impairments or not have any upper limbs at all, so it's very difficult for the swimmers to be at the wall. So someone came up with the idea, well, the coaches can hold them on the wall instead of scrunching them up to the wall and holding them up by the arms, hold them by the feet, and they're already in the backstroke position, ready to do the stroke.
And if you're not getting that propulsion off the start, then you're getting those that 3 metre. So again, another situation, and these starting devices and strategies are obviously subject to some pretty strict rules, but it's almost like the Formula One of para swimming in trying to find a way around the rules.
That's good. Well, who is going to take this one, this World Series final? It's the one and only race here, so we don't have to do any calculations, James. You'll be pleased to know. You can put that calculator away.
Put the pen down, the handwriting is appalling.
It is Paralympic champion Lu Yu, who I think is going to turn first and on to the freestyle. Liu Hongman in second position. Kind of almost one of the unknown Chinese, one of the new Chinese swimmers, Liu Hongyan. But Lu Yu was the winner in Tokyo of the individual medley and of the backstroke as well. But she's been pressed by our colleague here, our teammate, and also by Patricia Pereira dos Santos as well. It's a very good finish here from Patricia Pereira dos Santos, who was medalist in the relay. But the Chinese swimmers responded there just as they saw the Brazilian come alongside her. And Lu Yu has gone away from Patricia Pereira dos Santos and will take it first to the wall, 632 points ahead of Pereira dos Santos and Liu Hongman.
And some great improvements on the swims this morning. So a lovely 4-second drop from Yu Lu into this final and really making it count this afternoon.
It looked like she was cruising into the finish there, and then she saw Pereira dos Santos come alongside her, and all of a sudden it was a different gear that she got into. Well, let's watch Ellie Chalice. Let's have a look at Ellie. With she's into the wall now, 3:20.
Another enormous British record. 4 seconds quicker than the swim she did this morning, and that was a 2-second British record as well. So Ellie is absolutely on fire today, and as you said, that freestyle leg again is amazing.
Well, Ellie Chalice, the swimmer in the lower numerical classification, she has more impairment than everyone else in this field, but she's managed to get herself in the top 3. Because she will finish in third position, 605 points. It wasn't far away from the leading 2 there. Paralympic champion Yu Lu from China will take that World Series win. Pereira dos Santos will take the silver, and Ellie Chalice will get on the medal podium again. Another huge British record for Ellie Chalice. One more race to go, James.
One more race, and one that we haven't seen yet today. So this men's MC 150 individual medley final was a straight final, so there was no heats of this morning. We did see GB's Lyndon Longhorn compete and get a British record this morning.
In the 100 free.
In the 100 freestyle. And so really excited to see what he's going to get up to tonight in this 150 IM.
There's Harvey Phillips coming out. Yeah, range of classifications in this one. Harvey Phillips in the SM4 classification. Chong Wei. Oh no, Youssef El Sayed from Egypt in the SM3 classification. So there's the Egyptian swimmer making his way out. There's Alan Kleber Brasilo. Saw him earlier in the 100 freestyle. He will go next to Harvey Phillips in lane number 6. Lyndon Longhorn, British record breaker this morning in the 100 freestyle. Can he add another British record? Andreas Ernhofer, medalist in this event at the World Championships last year, took silver for the Austrian team. There's Gabriel dos Santos Araujo, Paralympic champion in the 50 backstroke and in the 200 front crawl. Silver in the 100 backstroke as well, real star of the Brazilian team in that Tokyo Games. Harvey Phillips, the youngest in this field. He's 19 years of age. But there is Dos Santos Araujo. He'll be the favourite for this one. Entry time 3:35.44, but he swims in the SM2 classification. And he is the world record holder in that classification. Lyndon Longhorn, though, see this as an opportunity for him in terms of qualification?
It's a bigger drop for Lyndon, so his British record's at 249.60. He has to get down to 243.52. So it's a big drop, but a British record this morning, fresh for this event. I'm not ruling it out.
243.52.
If he can follow in Eddie Chalice's steps, we could have another one to add to our list.
Well, we'll see what Lyndon Longhorn can do. Another one, Lyndon, of course, who had a break from the international team for a while, came back and made it to the Tokyo Games 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. He was one that was trying to make that London team, wasn't he, in 2012, didn't make it. Quit shortly after that one, came back a few years later and made Tokyo.
Lyndon's fascinating is his first go at the career, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind me talking about this, it wasn't as successful as he probably hoped, and he went away. His life happened and he's come back and he's now had a fantastic career and been to several championships and becoming a bit of a mainstay in that GB team.
So Lyndon Longhorn going in lane number 3. He's off to a decent start here. The Santos Araujo, we'll keep an eye on him in that centre lane. So Lyndon Longhorn's gone out. What's that split for Lyndon? Pretty fast, actually. Ernhofer in lane number 5, very strong breaststroke. I expect him to pull back on Lyndon as they go through. Lyndon Longhorn just holding off the challenge from Ernhofer here. It'd be quite good for Lyndon Longhorn if he get in front of the silver medalist from the World Championships. It's Andreas Ernhofer. But Lyndon Longhorn holding on really well here. Ernhofer with that entry time at 2:45. Lyndon Longhorn with the entry time at 2:49. So if Linden can stay ahead of Ernhofer, he's got a chance of getting in towards that qualification standard.
This is developing into a really close race, Paul. It's something like that last length for Linden to really get his hand on the wall and try and get that qualification standard.
Yeah, he is ahead of Ernhofer here. Ernhofer, a good freestyler though. Once he gets up into his stroke, Ernhofer will be strong. Not the best off the wall, Ernhofer, but he is using those long arms to his advantage now. Real battle here between these two at the front of the field. This is going to go all the way, I think. Ernhofer into his stroke now and looking good. Might just be edging it over Lyndon Longhorn. That higher turnover of the arms, Lyndon Longhorn really trying to hold on. And Ernhofer now with that big reach at the end is going to have an advantage, I think. But the Austrian World Championship silver medalist is pulling Longhorn onto a decent time here. Ernhofer is going to be into the wall first, I think. Longhorn might just be under that record time. Is he just outside his British record, I think? 2:49.62. Oh, only just 2 100s outside.
2 100s outside his British record. It shows that he's in really good shape, but I think that'll be quite painful. He might struggle with that, but it does show he's in good shape for the rest of this meet.
Ernhofer there, 584 points. We'll take it ahead of Longhorn. We'll watch out for Dos Santos Araujo in the middle here, coming in. The Brazilian, the world record holder in the SM2 classification. Watch out for the points for the Brazilian here. Yes, look at that, 1,180 points, and that is inside the world record mark there from Gabriel Geraldo dos Santos Araujo, and that is an amazing world record swim from him.
That is an absolutely massive world record. That is not just dipping underneath it, that is a huge swim from the Brazilian. And that is the first one of this World Series in Sheffield.
Well, amazing. We did talk about it in the build-up to this final session. Are we going to see a world record? We had some close things in the heat. We didn't see these guys in the heats because it was a straight final. We've seen them tonight, that's for sure.
We had to leave it. We had to leave it to the last race for me to get my world record. What an incredible swim, and just shows why he is the best.
There is Gabriel dos Santos Araujo, the world record breaker, and that was an incredibly quick time, 3:23.83. He has smashed that world record by over 11 seconds. Unbelievable from the man who was a gold medalist in those Tokyo Games in 2021. That was his kind of breakthrough meet. Not a bad place to break through at the Paralympic Games, was it?
Not at all, and it'll be a very different experience when he gets to Paris, and if he carry on swimming like that, it'll be a very, very successful competition for him.
Well, there's Dos Santos Araujo taking that world record in that SM2 150 metres individual medley. Andres Ernhofer in second in 584 points, and Lyndon Longhorn will be on the medal podium, 576. Well done for those two SM4 swimmers. That is the final swimming action of this first day final session, James. Of course, stick with us. Medal presentations to come. Let's help the athletes celebrate their success. And we can also check if James has got the points totals correct as well. It is 200 IM.
I'm never confident when you keep asking me this many times, Paul.
There's some supporters. Was that Good Luck Maisie?
Nice to see some flags and some support going on in the crowd, and it's coming towards the end of the session now, but what a session it's been.
Yeah.
To finish it off with that,
good ones.
To finish it off with a massive world record. I thought when Maisie went 991 points, we might not see one.
Yeah, great performances there. In all the events, you have to say, we've been treated to some great swims tonight. Some big points totals. A couple more people inside that qualification standards. A couple agonisingly outside. We've seen some people returning to the pool. James Clegg Ludi Lorondi.
We've had a bit of everything tonight.
Yeah, we have.
Or today.
Chantal Zuiderveld as well, making a bit of a comeback. The Netherlands swimmer, didn't see her in the final tonight, but she swam in the heats this morning. I'm sure we'll see her in the breaststroke later on in the week if everything is okay with her. As we move on to the medal presentations, 200 metres individual medley. Well, again, as you said, James, sensational swim there, wasn't it, by Maisie?
Absolutely, and it just shows where she is at coming into these last 18 months. We've been so fortunate to have so many home competitions over the last few years in this country. So to have a World Championships at home in Manchester, go out there, smash it out of the park, straight into Paris, where Paris is going to be really accessible for our families and friends. So for it to be in our time zone as well, it should be as close to a home games as you can get without being one.
Absolutely. There's Grace Harvey. She'll be hoping to be in Paris, I'm sure. She'll be hoping to be in Manchester, just outside the qualification standard, but she's got her big events to come later on in the week. There's Anastasia Dimitriev. Real young swimmer, young star of the Spanish team. Delighted to be on the podium. Next to the all-conquering Maisie Summers-Newton.
For this, our 200 IM champion for the second year in a row.
Great swim from Maisie Summers-Newton there, 991 points, wow.
Agonisingly close to that world record, but I don't think she's going to mind too much.
No, 2 medals, of course. She is the British national champion as well. So she wins that British title as well as the international title. There's Anastasia Dimitriev, silver, and Grace Harvey, bronze medal position for Grace. Grace, of course, the world champion in 100 breaststroke, so she's got the 100 breaststroke to come later on in the week. Sure, the breaststroke tomorrow or the day after? It's either tomorrow or the day after, I think, because it's butterfly on the last day.
I've never paid attention to when the breaststroke is, Paul. It's never been my event. You'd have to speak to my sister for that one.
Well, if Emma's listening, she can tweet in, tell us when the breaststroke is. Is she listening?
I would doubt it. She's probably got it on mute. I don't think she could. She could put up with me talking for this long.
Gia Dosman in the men's event, 200 metres individual medley, the world record holder. Settle for the bronze medal this time. He won in the Italian World Series 200 IM. Yamaguchi, as you said, James, big drop from heats to finals to bring himself into contention for these medals. Again, another breaststroker. Breaststrokers featuring heavily in the individual medley medalists.
Some of these 200 IMs that we've seen today have been phenomenal. Just a class above races I may have seen before, and the skills of everyone were so good. Everyone is clearly in some really good shape, and it's just exciting that how the world of para swimming is developing and moving forward.
There's Inaki Basilov. Argentinian taking that gold medal just outside the Americans' record, and Rhys Darby was inside the qualification standard. He was just outside in the heats. He dipped under in that incredibly close race with Cameron Verncombe.
And been rewarded as a British champion alongside.
So, 3 great champions there in the centre of the podium. And one up-and-coming potential star for the future, Rhys Darby.
Absolutely. And how he's dropped time today and how he's raced, he's displaying all those skills that we talk about that are fundamental to going on and achieving.
Well, he'll be the 8th person to be on our list of
8
people.
On day one.
8 on day one. The list of people who have managed to dip inside that Great Britain qualification standard. let's hope we are going to be in for more as we go through. As we have the women's 150 metres individual medley presentations.
Some nice sunglasses on the podium there.
Chalice was loving it as she's coming onto the pool deck. She's had a good day, Ellie Chalice. Another huge personal best there, British record for Ellie Chalice.
Absolutely phenomenal swims and multiple British records. Thoroughly deserving of that, of those 2 medals.
Yeah. Bronze for the international and gold for the British champion, Patricia Pereira dos Santos. Really pushed the Paralympic champion all the way in the closing stages there. It's a good freestyle from her. Liu Yu takes the title, just ahead of Pereira dos Santos and Ellie Chalice. There was not much in it in terms of time. China on the medal podium again, and she takes that World Para Series final. So another final medal presentation.
With Lyndon scraping you into the bronze medal position for this.
So final presentation to round off the action for tonight. 3 very pleased medalists, I think. We're just pleased that the 150 IM's over, I think. Getting a tough event, isn't it?
Absolutely. Like, any of the events over 100 I find tough, but to change strokes 3 times and to really push on and try and chase a British record or chase a qualifying time makes these events harder than any 50.
So Lyndon Longhorn, bronze medal in the international Para Series event. Andrew Zernhofer will take the silver medal in that World Para Series. I think Lyndon, he was the only British swimmer. Oh no, Harvey Phillips was in that one as well. So I'm not sure. I think there's a rule if there's so many people in the British event that the medal won't be presented. So that's maybe why Lyndon didn't get 2 medals there. And what about this? That world record in that very last swim of the evening. And it was a sensational world record as well. Broke it by about 11.5 seconds.
Absolutely sensational. And to be almost 200 points over the world record, 1,000 points, just shows you just how big a swim that really was.
So there are your international medalists. Great way to round off the action. That world record swim from Gabriel dos Santos Araujo in the centre there of those 3 medalists. Ehrenhofer and Lyndon Longhorn had an excellent contest to fight it out for the silver and bronze medal position. Ehrenhofer looking a bit menacing there into the camera. But he'd be pleased to get on that medal podium for the Austrian team. And that, I think, completes the action for us, James, tonight. It's been an excellent night of action. I hope you've enjoyed your stint on the live stream.
I've absolutely loved it, Paul, and thank you so much.
We can now go to Ashley in the studio.
Well, what a day it's been. Day one done, and we rounded off with a world record. That's not a bad way to end the day, is it? Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to Paul Noble and James Hollis for talking us through all the action, and to Alan March for doing exactly the same thing in venue. Now, lucky for you, we've got 4 days of action. Day 2 tomorrow. We're live from 9:15 a.m. on British Swimming's Facebook and YouTube channel. So make sure to set your alarms and join us then.